project's name. But yeah, in any case, Source is a 3D video game engine developed by Valve Corporation. We've already read this through, I don't know, in Counter-Strike Sources episode. But in any case, I really want to do a recap of myself of the whole thing here. It debuted as the successor to Gold Source, with the first game being Counter-Strike Source, and in June 2004, followed shortly by Half-Life 2 in November, and it has been in active development since. Now, I didn't actually correct myself there, since after Counter-Strike Source was actually, it wasn't like such a game, but more of a mod or a tech demo, another tech demo, I guess, for the Source engine called Half-Life Source, which obviously was just a complete port of Half-Life into the Source engine, and we'll actually just take a look at that as well. But let's see. Source does not have a concise version numbering scheme. Instead, it is designed in constant incremental updates. Its successor, Source 2, was officially announced in March 2015, with the first game to use it being Dota 2, which was ported over from Source later that year. You just edit your own music. Yeah. I mean, this track is actually in the orange box, since Half-Life 2 Episode 2 was in the orange box. But in any case, the history of Source, let's see. It distantly originates from the Gold Source engine, itself a heavily modified version of John Carmack's Quake engine. Carmack commented on his blog in 2004 that there are still bits of early Quake code in Half-Life 2. Valve employee Eric Johnson explained that the engine's nomenclature... What even is that word? I don't know. All the Valve developer community... when we were getting very close to releasing Half-Life, in less than a week or so, we found there were already some projects that we needed to start working on, but we couldn't risk checking in code to the shipping version of the game. At that point, we forked off the code in VSS to be both Gold Source and Source. Over the next few years, we used these terms internally as Gold Source and Source. At least initially, the Gold Source brand of code referred to the code base that was currently released, and Source referred to the next set of more risky technology that we were working on. When it came down to show Half-Life 2 for the first time at E3 2003, it was part of our internal communication to refer to the Source engine versus the Gold Source engine, and the name stuck. And that's pretty much it. And speaking of the E3 demos, I will get to that in this episode, right after this whole thinking history thingy first. Half-Life 2 actually had both demos on, like both E3 2003 as well as E3 2004. But that was basically because, let's see, there's another, yep, there we go. Since we already know there was the source code leak for Half-Life 2. And Valve announced, it basically reads here, Valve announced Half-Life 2 at E3 in May 2003, where it won several awards for Best in Show. Originally scheduled for release in September 2003, it was delayed in the wake of the cracking of Valve's internal network. The network was accessed through a null session connection to a server owned by Tangus, which was hosted in Valve's network, and a subsequent upload of an ASP shell. This resulted in the leak of the Half-Life 2 source code and many other files, including maps, models, and a playable early version of the game in early September 2003. On October 2nd, 2003, Valve CEO Gabe Newell publicly revealed on the Half-Life fan forums, what actually happened, the events that Valve experienced around the time of the leak. And asked users to help find the perpetrators. And pretty much in 2004, they actually, FBI arrested several people suspected of involvement in the leak. Valve claimed it was leaked by a German black hat hacker named Axel Ego Gambe. I still don't know how to freaking pronounce that name. Like, I already read this through, but it's just like Gambe. Gaben is even easier, but that's Gabe Newell. But yeah, let's see. After the leak, Gembe, I guess, had contacted Newell through email, also providing an unreleased document planning the E3 event. Newell kept corresponding with Gembe, and Gembe was led to believe that Valve wanted to employ him as an in-house security auditor. He was to be offered a flight to the US and was to be arrested on arrival by the FBI. I'll be damned. And the thing is, Newell made a very, very clever trick here. I mean, he was even offered a flight to the US, and he didn't even still suspect that this was a drill. He was like, holy shit, I get to work at Valve, yeah! And then he was arrested because of whatever he did. So, like, Gabe wanted to, like, approach him the not exactly the opposite way of like you need to be arrested or anything like that, but he wanted to like approach him like very friendly. It's like, hey, you have done this thing. What you should you actually just become a Valve employee or something like that? Yeah. He offered the job for him and offered the flight as well, and he got arrested. But yeah, when the German government became aware of the plan, Gambit was arrested in Germany instead and put on trial for the leak of. I think he got like how many years? 2 years in probation, I see, yeah. But other than that, like, as far as the Source engine goes, and Half-Life 2 goes, it was, again, showcased in E3 2004, with, again, this time a multiplayer portion of, like, the whole engine, the Source engine. Counter-Strike Source was showcased as well, but I believe Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, as well as Half-Life Deathmatch Source, became much later. Well, it came out much later. I think it was in 2005. But in any case, let's see. Source was developed from this foregone was solely replacing Gold Source in, let's see, Valve's internal projects, and in part explaining the reasons behind its unusually modular nature. Valve's development of Source since has been a mixture of licensed middleware and in-house developed code. Among others, Source uses Pink Video for video playback. Oh yeah, this. Yeah, Source was created to evolve incrementally with new technology and opposed to the backward compatibility break-in version jumps of its competitors. Different systems within Source are represented by separate modules which can be updated independently. With Steam, Valve can distribute these updates automatically among its many users. In practice, however, there have been occasional breaks in this chain of compatibility. The release of Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and the Orange Box both introduced new versions of the engine. Yeah. Let's see, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, it was Source 2006, which we're going to see right here. And in the Orange Box, it was when it was released in 2007, it got yet again a new version of the Source in 2007. But let's see. Yeah, they cannot be used to run older games or mods without the developers performing upgrades to code and in some cases content. Yeah, both cases required markedly less work to update its version than competing engines. This was demonstrated in 2010 when Valve updated all of their core Source games to the latest engine build. Yeah, as well as Steam. Yeah, let's see. Since Source Engine's release in 2004, the following major architectural changes have been made. Yeah, Source 2006. It's worth noting that, let's see, yeah, Source 2006 got released in Half-Life 2 Episode 1 in the year 2006, but it was already like a tech demo version in Half-Life 2 Lost Coast. Yeah, it's already here. Yeah, it was showcased in Half-Life 2 Lost Coast pretty much in 2005. And before we actually just get to that, I believe, like, let's see. Yeah, we have the E3 demos and everything, but I don't know if I should read any more further than this. But in any case, HDR rendering and color correction were first implemented in 2005 using Day of Defeat Source, which required the engine's shaders to be rewritten. Yeah. I mean, even in Day of Defeat Source, it was like, I don't know if it wasn't like a tech demo, but in any case, it was still used like HDR rendering and stuff like that before Source 2006. But yeah, let's see. Episode 1 introduced... I need to pronounce this wrong, since this could be like two different words, but Fong shading. There we go. And other smaller features. Since the transition to Steam Pipe, this branch was made deprecated and is now used for backward compatibility with older mods. Yeah. Image-based rendering technology had been in development for Half-Life 2, but was cut from the engine before its release. Yeah. And it was again released in 2006. But it was mentioned again by Gabe Newell in 2006 as a piece of technology he would like to add to Source to implement support for much larger scenes that are impossible with strictly polygonal objects. And later on, those larger scenes in Half-Life 2 Episode 1, I believe there were some like larger scenes and stuff like that, but in Source 2007 it was more prominent with Half-Life 2 Episode 2, where there's large environments and nearly like open world feeling world, I guess. It was marvelous with the like strictly polygonal objects and everything with the world. But let's just say Half-Life 2 also had those, but the whole world wasn't like open completely for like the view. And we're gonna like get to that when we get to Half-Life 2 Episode 2. We get to like admire the whole goddamn landscape. But yeah, Source 2007. That branch represented a full upgrade of the Source engine for the release of the Orange Box. An artist-driven threaded particle system replaced previously hard-coded effects for all the games within. An in-process tools framework was created to support it, which also supported the initial builds of Source Filmmaker. In addition, the facial animation system was made hardware accelerated on modern video cards for feature film and broadcast television quality. The release of the Orange Box on multiple platforms allowed for a large code refactoring, which let the Source engine take advantage of multiple CPU cores. Yeah, indeed. Multi-core rendering setting became in Source 2007. And it's playing this track again. Why in the hell are you playing this track again? Next. Thank you. Sorry about that. Oh, much better. Half-Life 2 Episode 2 tracks. But let's see. What was I actually? Yeah. However, support on the PC was experimental and unstable until the release of Left 4 Dead, and that's another franchise I'm gonna get to hopefully pretty soon. It could be after I'm actually done with DreamHack Winter, but hopefully before January, as I'm I have my military service. But the thing is, Left 4 Dead series, I might need somebody to play with there. But yeah, multiprocessor support was later backported to Team Fortress 2 and Day of Defeat Source. Yeah. Valve created the Xbox 360 release of the Orange Box in-house, and support for the console is fully integrated into the main engine code line. It includes asset converters, cross-platform play, and Xbox Live integration. Program code can be ported from PC to Xbox 360 simply by recompiling it. The PlayStation 3 release was outsourced to Electronic Arts and was plagued with issues throughout the process. Gabe Newell cited these issues were criticizing the console during the release of the Orange Box. Well, it sure was, goddammit. It was outsourced and plagued with issues. It's no wonder. But in any case, yep, there we go. Have to see the chat bot. But in any case, that will probably be it. I won't read too much into the Left 4 Dead branch, but as far as the demos go at E3, we're going to start from those. And sorry, Killabilly, I have to interrupt you for a bit. The thing is, with Half-Life 2 and showcasing the Source engine, it all came down to like I don't know, well, basically this tech demo, but many don't even remember E3 2004's tech demo with the Counter-Strike Source multiplayer demo as well. But this one, to say the least, back then this was mind-boggling stuff and everything like that. But like, I don't know, still many of these features that were in the demo itself remained pretty much like well, not completely unused. I mean, they could still be like practically done. I guess the Kanban soldiers still like have their advanced AI as they do have here in the 2003. No, what's up, Wildlife? Welcome. 2003 demo. That's what that I was talking about. But let's see.
Greetings, brother.
What's up? And yeah, pretty much they like, to say the least, as usual in E3, they were just trying to show off with their technology. And here is the E3 2003 tech demo of Half-Life 2. I'm gonna put these subtitles on too.
It's been 5 years. It looks like hell.
Wow. Does it now?
Been rather busy in your absence, Mr. Freeman.
The Source engine gives us capabilities in 4 main areas. Believable and realistic human beings, graphics that were previously impossible outside a Hollywood movie studio, an integrated materials and physics system that create an unprecedented level of interactivity, and artificial intelligence that welds all these things together into an experience gamers have never had before.
Yeah.
A huge number of details go into creating a character like the G-Man. His eyes glint based on a radiosity calculation of the local illumination. may self-shadow and follow you as you move. He has 40 separate muscles in his face, and his emotions are based on a taxonomy of facial expressions created by Dr. Paul Ekman, a research psychiatrist. This same system gives
Pay
him...
attention, Mr. Freeman. I'm only going to say this once.
allows him to speak,
Yeah.
and he can do it just as easily in any other language as English.
那么，看来我们是没有合作的机会了。
The character technology gives us a broad emotional palette to draw upon. So you'll really hate your enemies in Half-Life 2, fear for yourself and your friends, and maybe discover a few new feelings along the way.
I really like what they were doing with this. Showing off an E3 as
So with
usual.
characters who react emotionally and are so expressive, we need a world that's similarly flexible and interactive.
Yeah.
The world of Half-Life 2 is very dynamic. Any surface can have its displacement map altered dynamically along with its collision hull. The world is also built out of materials. So if something looks like wood, then it sounds like wood, scrapes like wood, floats like it, and if you shoot it, it'll fragment like wood.
Exactly.
Materials in the physics system interact with each other, so a set of steel drums floating will behave exactly how you expect.
Payato.
Didn't think this would be complete without a giant pachinko machine.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of the pachinko machine, pretty much the very machine that was showcased in E3 2003 later on got scrapped in 2004, especially in the E3 demo of that, and it was later on, how would I say, reworked as the gravity gun. This is actually called the physics gun, I guess, and it was this gun was actually later implemented in Gary's mod, but it was never seen in Half-Life 2 like final release. Maybe the beta, but not the final release.
You can have constraint based. Have flexible models interacting with complex surfaces.
Back then, this was mind-boggling stuff.
There's no limitation on the complexity of those interactions.
Yeah.
So it's this level of believable and consistent interactivity that opens the door to a wide variety of new gameplay mechanics.
Exactly.
Running my 486.
Oh god.
No comment. The graphics of
No
the Source
comment.
engine are based around shaders. The same approach used to render movies like Toy Story and Monsters Inc.
Both Disney movies.
The walls here are actually bump map subdivision surfaces. If you look closely at the water, you can see it refracts merged objects and properly incorporates a Fresnel term to modulate the surface reflectivity.
They really had to look for like the whole goddamn world of science for this frigging engine, especially the Fresnel term for the water shading and everything like that. But like even the shaders of Source, we can already see that from like the whole complete port of Half-Life into Source and Half-Life Source. That like, damn, it was super realistic and super realistic looking at the time. I mean, clearly like there are like even more HD looking waters than just like Source, but back then, I don't know if we have come like too much of a long way from like upgrading the water we have now even. Or the shaders,
Here
let
you get a
alone
sense
that.
of the wide variety of visual effects that are possible
Yeah.
in Source.
With this low quality video you won't be seeing that too much, but yeah. Even Gordon. Video display.
There aren't any arbitrary restrictions in the Source on how you can use these effects. For example, you can take one of them and apply them to a human character, effectively building them out of water.
Yeah, exactly like here. So just make him the water man, ocean man. No. Maybe not that.
Source also gives us complete control over the outputs and inputs of the system, which we can use in some surprising ways.
Hey, crab. Now here's the gravity gun. Yeah, they also implemented that, but to say the least, it was tried to be built alongside the gravity gun. That's what I mean, the physics gun. But look at that. Yep.
That's been our technology.
It seems
overview
there's
of the
a whole
Source
channel.
engine.
Oh,
Watch this.
DSR, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. But yeah, the thing is, I wanted to say a little bit about this. I don't know, the video displays were really, like, I don't know, far and wide used in Half-Life 2, but I don't know if they actually were used in any other Source games besides, like, the whole Half-Life series. But yeah, what's up? Welcome, everybody. We'll take a look at the history of Source in a little bit, and as well as the tech demos, I believe, yeah. We'll take a look at Half-Life 2 Lost Coast right after these demos, but yeah. Yeah, it was a video, of course. It's the E3 2003 tech demo of Half-Life 2. After this, we'll take a look at the next year's E3 demo. But yeah, sadly, like with Half-Life 2, showcased in 2003, May 2003, I believe it was. Yeah, in E3, it was like meant to be released 4 months after that, in September 2003. But because of the leak, the whole source code leak in Valve's internal network, they actually just like had to be silent for a while, just to like figure out what the hell was going on and everything, and then just announced in October, I believe, that they just actually had a leak like this. Oh, Chronicles 4. Game is amazing. Well, you playing like the first one, and then now you play the fourth one. What the hell? Or is the fourth one the actual? What the hell? The sequel for it? What the hell? But yeah, the thing is, like, they even had to delay the release of the game eventually, as well as the whole release of Source, even though it was like the whole source code was also released. But they would try to like track down the hacker, and were like try to contact people if they could actually just like try to find this hacker and stuff like that. And they finally found out who like leaked it, and it was a German chap. I already read through this, but he basically Gabe Newell didn't want to like completely say that, hey, you're a hacker, you must be arrested, goddammit, I'm sending the FBI right after you, and then he would have just actually escaped. But he approached him very welcomely. Like, he actually offered the hacker a job at Valve, and he was offered a flight to the US, and basically all over, like, all the way to Seattle, I believe, where Valve's studio was. And then the FBI just arrested them right there. Arrested him, rather. 2 and 3 are on PSP, and 3 never came to the... Oh, I see. But yeah, in any case, the hacker just, like, he never even thought that was going to be a drill or something like that. It's like, he was immediately, I guess, excited. Like, oh, I get to work at Valve. And he was offered a flight to the US and immediately arrested by the FBI. And it was like, I mean, this doesn't have to do with Half-Life 2 anymore, but he was doing like some other hacking crime thingies, and he got in trial for that and 2 years in prison, basically. But yeah. The video display here. Pew!
That's been our technology overview of the Source engine. Now let's look at Half-Life 2, the game.
Sorry for the subtitles, I have it because the speech is a little bit too quiet. Here we go. Another scene Half-Life 2 never saw.
Does that mean I have to upgrade?
Might be time.
My spreadsheet ran so well.
Get a Pentium 4 for God's sake. To say the least, the atmosphere already in the showcase of E3 2003's demo was something else. Yep, floating corpses. Oh no!
This next segment will introduce you to Alex, one of your friends in Half-Life 2. and reintroduce Dr. Kleiner, one of the scientists from Black Mesa.
It's worth noting here that Alex actually got like a, how would I say, a visual rework, and probably not the final version of Half-Life 2, but like, let's see, probably in Source 2006, when Half-Life 2 Episode 1 came out, she actually got, like, even on her face, she got, like, a complete visual overhaul, I guess. But here,
Gordon, snap out of it.
she's still looking like this.
You're staring at me again.
Warming up nicely.
Are you sure you don't want me to swap out the polarizer?
That's not necessary. Just checking for potential modular interference in the interstices. Conditions could hardly be more ideal.
I hope so. I'm sorry, Gordon. I can't help thinking that this isn't going to work. We should have listened to my father and done it his way. It's just, this is the first time I've had any hope of really striking back at the Combine. And now we're sitting ducks unless we can get this thing running. Come on, Dr. Kleiner, is it gonna work or not?
No, there's nothing to be nervous about. Let's see. Massless field flux should self-limit, and I've clamped the manifold parameters to base, LG orbital. Oh, do be careful.
We should just cut our losses.
They were seriously showing off with this. That never was a feature in Half-Life 2.
Scanners. That's it. We gotta get moving. Here, Gordon. Take this. Let's get out of here. It's too late. Run!
Oh,
Strider! Oh well. Signature source engine clicking sound,
We're in a
indeed.
part of town outside City 17, one of the main locations in Half-Life 2.
It's worth noting, actually, and we're actually going to see that Ravenholm wasn't supposed to have zombies at first. It was like supposed to, like Half-Life 2 in the first place, was supposed to like be a much darker game, as well as Ravenholm still be a dark place, but still, nevertheless, it had Combine soldiers at first, until it was updated, I believe, in 2004 to have more zombies and headcrabs. But as we can see here, yeah, there's already one Combine soldier coming. Exactly. The physics system allowed so many things, but the AI was still pretty clever. That clever. Yep. Just take the radiator and...
This part of town has been booby-trapped by a friend of yours named Father Grigori, who's kind of a survivalist monk. He's left traps all over the place for you to make use of.
Yeah. Another thing that was kind of half featured, half not featured in Source, but here we go. Oh yes. There's a grenade underneath that freaking huge container supported by that wooden thing, and they're all dead. This was mind-boggling stuff, and I believe, like, any game even after Half-Life 2 doesn't have physics puzzles as well as the same shooting action at the same time. It's marvelous what they did, but like still, many franchises after that haven't even done a game based on like, well, not completely like Source's physics system or anything like that, but in any case, that's still marvelous. Only the modding community has done this, like in Half-Life 2 maps and stuff like that, has done the same thing with the gunplay as well as the physics puzzles at the same time. Whoa! Almost hit you a hit on that. Garden shots. Not really. Yeah, exactly. There's some gunshots. Creaking sound. Now later on, like Rivenholm did have like zombies and all that. Oh, most of the combine soldiers. Yep, and this is the feature we already saw in Half-Life 2. Probably one of the only things that remained in Ravenholm. Compared to like this demo as well as the final release. Oh, damn. Yeah, even that was not in Ravenholm. Signature source engine clicking sound, yeah.
Here you get a look at some of your allies fighting alongside you.
Yep, including Barney.
Remember when we thought Black Mesa was as bad as it could get?
Now here also you do get to see the weapons as well. Like the player's carrying an MP7, but the NPCs mostly are carrying like a, how would I say, a shorter version of the MP5. I really cannot remember the, oh, nice. The model name for that. But as you can see, the NPCs are just having MP5s. There's a turret.
Cover me, Gordon.
Also, the MP7 was a little bit slower by fire.
I want to emphasize that these are not scripted sequences. The AI is determining when your allies choose to advance and how to best help you out in combat.
Yeah, exactly. It was mind-boggling stuff, but it was like hard to showcase in a demo. I mean, this sneaky behavior was later on maybe scrapped. But the NPCs pretty much that you could not order, like basically just did, like go to covers and stuff like that. This was already showcased right here. Gunship. Trademark. This time it's not signature, but it's trademark.
Allies in the game won't always be human.
Oh yeah.
And in this segment, some of the less intelligent aliens have been fooled into thinking that you are one of their commanders.
Yeah.
You have something that has the right pheromone on it, so these antlions will do what you tell them to.
Nova Prospect. But this time in this demo, like you did collect the Antlion pheropods from the Antlion guards in the final release as well. But here, the Antlion guard was already dead in Nova Prospect. You could actually collect it. But I believe it didn't have like any amount of ammunition. It doesn't here. But yeah, the Antlions are also a little bit different looking here. Yep, there's more where that came from. How about you trying to be my meat shield here while I just go into the other room?
Do I smell a new?
Oh! Blah blah, thank you very much for the follow, much obliged. Welcome, welcome. We're looking at a the E3 2003 tech demo of Half-Life 2 pretty much here, as well as Source. But this rifle right here was the early version of the AR-2, which later on was again scrapped and replaced with a Combine AR model, the pulse rifle. It's a very old video. I cannot actually tell when this video was released on YouTube, but the quality, sorry about that. What's happening, Indomitable? Ow! And there we go. That's basically all you could do with the outlines. Here though, in this demo, they could actually just like enter from anywhere. I believe that was also the case in Nova Prospect later in the final release of Half-Life 2, where the analysts could actually just enter from the windows and stuff like that. But they mostly just had the holes there. Up, it's another guard. Boom! You're not our commander! Yeah, that's what he thought. Tomorrow on PC4, they're doing some winter warfare, honestly. Oh yeah, the wide open outdoor areas. Really interesting. It sure was, like even the later release. But here in the Jeep, as far as the visuals go, it's also like it still has the freaking bonnet or the hood, I guess. But the later, like, Jeep in the final game didn't actually have like any sheets at all. Third-person free-to-play game? No, I haven't actually. I've heard of like Riot Games making a new, like an FPS. I mean, not new to them, but yeah. But it is still pretty new to them, but like still making an FPS in the first place. Phew! Yeah. This was fascinating, even though there were like vehicle thingies and especially like vehicle games, racing games. Half-Life 2 though, with the physics engine, also implemented like special physics for vehicles, especially here in the Jeep. And it was super cool to see in an FPS where you're actually just like riding a friggin' vehicle. I believe, and I could get this wrong, I mean, there have been like FPS games with vehicles, but not like implemented with the, like the whole physics system, I guess. In a game when you're not, yeah, and once again. But yeah, this intersection right here is actually in the game, as well as that previous section with that glass break going through the warehouse. I actually get to destroy the gunship here as well. Oh, I missed. There we go. No, I finally hit. Oh no, I didn't. I actually hit the side of the road there. Whee! Yeah, in this demo, the gunship actually just falls over. It doesn't actually blow in the jeeps.
Last sequence, you'll get a look at the citadel at the center of the alien Combine.
Oh yeah.
The Combine is a fortress which is slowly eating its way through the rest of City 17.
First, it was a sort of a fortress, but now the final release is actually like a real other dimensional like alien, I guess, or interdimensional alien thingy, whatever. funny to mention that City 17 still had like these tram systems there, where even the citizens could roam around. Oh boy! Phew! Props and everything flying out of the wall right when it closes. Yeah, to say the least, even the environmental sounds already made a very settling game. Sure enough, created the atmosphere. Oh. Get the hell out of here! Strider. Yep, indeed it is. And cleverly enough, the demo player here actually is just trying to shoot the Strider with a... Oh, look at that. With the SMG, because it only can be destroyed with explosives. No, that was not a beer. This is actually a Coca-Cola glass containing water. Sorry, I didn't have Coca-Cola right now. It's from the Rio 2016 Olympics thingy. I didn't actually go to Rio. It was actually from McDonald's, I believe, yeah. Another Strider. Well, this time the player actually has the gravity gun for his arsenal. I guess he actually ran out of SMG ammo, but let's see. Boom! Yep. even the cars exploded, even though they already were wrecked enough. He's just trying to... Ooh! Impaled. Oh yeah, this part. F you. Damn. And I think that's pretty much it. For this demo, at least.
Well, isn't this just like old times?
Almost like it. With increased physics this time. And fixed physics as well. But yeah, here is pretty much the E3 2004 demo from... I believe, what the hell is this actually? Is this also from GameSpy? I really cannot remember. But in any case, like, Half-Life 2 got delayed in 2003. As, like, in September it was supposed to be released, but, like, just barely before the release, Valve got hacked, and their internal network with it got hacked, and as well, the source code was leaked all over internet, I guess, by a German hacker. They got later arrested that, well, freaking the later month, I guess. But in any case, like, that's why they had to delay it a little bit, as well as add some new features. But, like, features like, well, the places like Ravenholm wouldn't certainly have, like, a newer look here. And I believe this was also like in around May, E3 2004. Yeah, it could be. So the thing is, it was only like about 6 months. Yeah, 6 months actually, before the release of Half-Life 2 here. But this is actually showcasing also the multiplayer demo for Counter-Strike Source. And we've already played in that in Goals of FPS, so I won't be like getting over that right now, right after these frigging archives, but I will get over in maybe Half-Life Source as well as, let's see, Half-Life 2 Lost Coast. Even though Half-Life Source is just basically like the complete port of Half-Life from Gold Source to Source, there's nothing much else to do besides just show the freaking ragdoll effects as well as the shaders, but as a bonus of that, I guess it was because of the freaking physics system that could actually just buck some levels out. You could actually choose any episode you want in Half-Life Source. Versus the original release, actually. But yeah, in any case, in 2004, this could have also been like later, maybe even June. So, like, Counter-Strike Source came out already in June, but Half-Life 2 would only later release in November. But as far as the whole Source engine goes, Source already was released with Counter-Strike Source in June 2004. But here we go, Half-Life 2. Yep, developer, Valve Software, publisher, Vivendi, Universal. This Gabe Newell.
Managing director at Valve, and I'm going to show you Half-Life 2.
Let's have the audio.
Give you an idea of what we're doing with multiplayer.
I can actually put the desktop audio a little higher, a little bit. I just have to remember that. Put it back.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. Not that I wish to imply you have been sleeping on the job. No one is more deserving of a rest, and all the effort in the world would have gone to waste until,
The original intro.
well, let's just say your hour has come again.
Let's just say this is actually a little bit shorter.
Wake up,
Yeah.
Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
It was already made shorter.
Just like the original game, Half-Life 2 starts off by introducing you to the world, its occupants, and your role in this world since Black Mesa.
End of the line.
I could actually just put the whole volume of maybe, let's see. Damn it, no, not that. Whole volume of Chrome a little bit higher, so sorry about this. Not only Chrome, but this. What? Jesus. Maybe not that high. Let's see if this is actually much better. I have to remember to cover my ears after the video is actually just like over.
I thought so much of City 17 that I elected to establish my administration here in the citadel so thoughtfully provided by our benefactors. I've been proud to call City 17 my home.
It's all I have left.
So, whether you are here to stay,
Yeah, comparing this to the final game, you can barely see that it was very much nearing its completion. In fact, if already not done. But what was actually remaining was maybe like even from the scene was the citizens who actually just like tried to interact with the player, and if you tried to interact with them, they were missing like the rest of their animations. For example, this guy. Yeah. And the thing is, I believe that citizen right there did have his like speech and everything, but he didn't have like the head shaking things and everything like that. Don't drink the water. They put something in to make you forget. He didn't have that right there.
my administration here in the citadel so thoughtfully provided by our benefactors. I've been proud to call City 17 my home. And so, whether you are here
Right in here.
passing through on your way to parts unknown, welcome to City 17. It's safer here.
Basically the whole intro of Half-Life 2.
This must be a mistake. I got a standard relocation just like everything else.
Get in. Yeah, that actually ends there. It's very nice that they introduced the whole intro as well. But here we go, back to Highway 17.
This next segment is one of my favorites from our playtest. This playtester shows how physics can get you into some really interesting trouble, as well as how it can get you out.
Exactly. That's what they also implemented compared to the 2003 version, I guess. Made some more interesting...
At this point, I would have been hitting reload.
Yeah, exactly. Made some more interesting troubles with the physics as well, as how you can actually get out of them as well. Woohoo! Good thing there's that freaking fence right there. Oh, finally. Very close, to say the least.
It's too heavy.
Yeah. Why didn't you just pull the object in? It's too heavy. roller mines. Now even you can see from the weapons as well that the that they are actually just like akin to the final release version's weapons, and not the E3 2003's slow SMG or like the different looking AR2 or anything like that. The shotgun might be still a little bit different, but the weapon side is still pretty much the oh the final versions, I believe. Yeah, was it good? Half-Life. If you haven't played Half-Life 2, go ahead and play it. I really recommend playing through the whole series. But Half-Life 2, to say the least, it's easier, no doubt there, than the predecessor. But like the physics system and everything, as even showcased here in the E3 demos, is something else utilized by the Source engine. I mean, it's a real miracle if you actually don't know about the Source engine. But yeah. And the roller mines still keep on going. They also look a little bit different compared to the final release. Ammunition. He's not using his flashlight here, so I actually apologize for the low goddamn quality of the video. Oof. Yeah, here's actually the AR2. Wow.
The Half-Life 2 engine, called Source, its integration in physics makes vehicle implementation straightforward. We're very curious to see how the mod community will take advantage of this.
In fact, the mod community did take super, very good advantage, to say the least. And not only in Half-Life 2 with the different maps and everything, and even custom vehicles, but also what might have taken it first was maybe Gary's mod. But as far as the other mods go, they haven't been actually... Well, there's Dip Rip, would actually... It isn't like an FPS, but it's a racing game nevertheless, utilizing the engine, or the physics engine of Source, for the vehicles at least. But yeah, in Half-Life 2, it's just marvelous to see even vehicles in an FPS utilizing the physics engine itself, and working. Yep, there's the copter. This is actually Water Hazard, the voice chapter. But I certainly recommend playing through Half-Life 2. It is marvelous, not only by the story, but also by the physics puzzles that finally were possible in Half-Life 2, but were not possible in the first one. As there wasn't actually a real physics engine implemented, so yeah. It uses a modified version of the Havoc physics engine, so yeah. Oof! Look at that. I mean, this was in 2004. And all those things, even with the explosions and stuff like that, altering the physics, for example, of those cars, or car wreckages, they were pretty, still very much new to the whole industry, but still, even games later than that, after Half-Life 2, they didn't even utilize it much, apart from the whole Half-Life franchise in general. As the copter.
An area in Half-Life 2 is called Ravenholm has been infested with zombies. Father Grigori has sort of appointed himself caretaker of the area.
Brother. And so we meet at last. You are to be commended for avoiding my traps. The work of a man who once had too much time on his hands and now finds time for nothing but the work of salvation. I suspect you have little wish to remain in Ravenholm, so I will show you to the mines. Follow me, brother, and tread lightly, for this
It's
is
hallowed
hallowed ground.
Exactly. This was exactly the same scene we already experienced in Ravenholm, so...
You'll learn more about the life cycle of zombies in the second game. You're about to see one of those variations called fast zombie, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, here they didn't much show... Yeah, exactly. That was as short as it could get, actually. But here they didn't much show how the
In this last segment,
fast zombies actually just, like, leaped from, like, different surfaces, even surfaces on different heights and everything like that, as they did in Ravenholm already. But, yep, here they just don't show it.
In this last segment, you'll see Gordon and a group of humans unsuccessfully try to take out a Strider.
Yeah, exactly. Grigori did nothing. Unsuccessfully take down a Strider. It's no wonder it's unsuccessful. You're shooting bullets at it while you should be actually just like firing rocks and everything at it. Sorry, this is afterthought. I mean, hindsight. Because that's what people actually notice later on in the game. They actually have to fire explosives at it. Oh, damn. Another impalement. I don't know. Impaling. Whoa! Oh boy. And they got disintegrated. Even the freaking town hall pillars destroyed by that freaking giant beam of the Strider. That eventually destroyed you as well. That was marvelous to see the debris just flying all over. They're physical objects.
That's all for now. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
I will see you up ahead.
I will see you up ahead. But that's pretty much Half-Life 2 showcase. Next up is, I believe, Counter-Strike Source.
In addition to showing Half-Life 2, we've also been talking about our multiplayer for the first time.
It was an actual game, where actual demos rolling.
When Half-Life 2 ships this summer, we'll also have all of our original Half-Life games available on Source.
Yeah.
So taking advantage of shaders, physics, new models, and to give you a sense of what it's going to be like to play multiplayer games like TFC or Day of Defeat or Counter-Strike on Source, I'll give you a quick demonstration of Counter-Strike running on Source.
The thing is, Valve did not port all of their games to Source. It was kind of a futile attempt. I mean, the thing is, Half-Life Source already got itself a, how would I say, a very chunky reputation amongst the physics engine alone, as well as, like, I don't know. Yeah, there were nothing else actually from the Gold Source engine ported over to the Source engine by Valve. So not even the expansions got ported over, maybe only thankfully, but not even TFC. Later on, what released on Source, though, was Team Fortress 2 in 2007. After 9 years of development, hopefully it will have to worth the wait, the words of Gabe Newell. And it sure was. But Team Fortress 2 also like went through many iterations already in Gold Source. Not even on Source, but in any case, only Half-Life Source got itself a complete port from the Gold Source engine to Source. And Counter-Strike Source being
For those
like
of you
a...
who are Counter-Strike players, this is DE Aztec.
Oh, Aztec. Counter-Strike having like a full engine update as well, so it wasn't a complete port of Counter-Strike 1.6. Featured new models, well, not new weapons, but new weapon models as well as the whole maps being completely redone. For example, Aztec right here. I was first like, why the hell is that gun on the left side there? But that's what it was by default at first, I believe, yeah, in Counter-Strike Source. The demo itself had music, but Counter-Strike Source later on did not have any music. Obvious reasons. It's a competitive multiplayer FPS. I love those red dolls, just flying. And the knockback only was, of the bullets I mean, it was only like determined of the freaking damage the weapon dealt. So on headshots, the ragdoll will really be pushed back, so it was like...
That concludes the demonstration. You can also see a different set of demos running over at the ATI booth. I hope you enjoyed this and look forward to having you play it this summer.
Yeah. And that's basically it. Apart from the last showcases here, yeah. This is like Gordon Freeman's face right there, yeah. Half-Life 2. Just like last few showcases here, I believe, of the whole E3. Yeah.
Welcome to City 17. Instinct could inflict a fatal injury on our species.
Water shaders. Yeah, as far as the water went, the water surface itself was not like wobbling or anything like that. That was later implemented, but that's the only thing as far as the water or the surface physics go. As far as their like visuals go. Half-Life 2 was certainly a revolutionary game with the engine. That's basically it. Half-Life 2 got like 3 editions even, like Alex's, Gordon's, and G-Man's edition basically, but yeah. Before I blow up my ears with the freaking volume being at 50 or so, what was it? Yeah. Actually just, let's see, we're going to see the next video pretty much. Yeah, we're just maybe about like the history of Half-Life and Half-Life 2 first, but also about the Orange Box a little bit. Maybe this will showcase episode 1 a bit as well. There we go. It's from IGN, actually.
So when we started Half-Life, we were just 2 guys who were working on productivity software and operating systems, and the odds that we could actually do an entertainment product were very low. So our goals with Half-Life were pretty minimal. We just wanted to execute competently on an entertainment product. But you know, the main thing we wanted to do was bring together a group of people and build something that was fun. We really had no expectation of what was going to happen once we released Half-Life. The critical and commercial success, though, actually was very daunting for us. I mean, all these people were sending us email, and we were winning all of these awards. And you know, that was great for about 10 minutes, and then we realized, oh my God, now we have to do it again.
Yeah.
So Half-Life 2 was intended to sort of live up to everybody's expectations. All of the people who'd supported us, all the people who'd created mods, all the people who were running servers, and all the people who bought the game, and give them something, you know, as our way of living up to their expectations from their playing the original game. For people who haven't played the Half-Life series before, Gordon is just an ordinary scientist going to work one day when the world sort of falls apart. The adventures that he goes through are really formative. How he goes from being just a sort of another anonymous face in the crowd to being a central figure in the events that occur at Black Mesa is really that progression that the player goes through as they understand what it means to be a hero in the Half-Life universe. One of the things that we were all reacting to, we were all gamers, and we had a sense that the games were sort of drifting into in this direction of being reduced to, you know, being the shooting gallery, right? You had these targets and you were blasting away at them. And I think that was sort of a little bit dangerous because the people who played these games best, that was what the experience was like. The 10th time they played through Doom, you know, they'd completely mastered it. Whereas
Exactly.
What had really been exciting to me the first time I played through Doom was how incredibly scared I was and how much of an atmosphere and a world I thought was out there, you know, and the potential that the medium had for doing that even more so. So that's what we were going after, is a mix of problem solving, a mix of adventure, adventure and exploration, and a mix of action, all the while giving you sort of realistic people around you, or more certainly now they look fairly cartoony, but people who gave you a purpose, right? Why am I doing this? You know, and a lot of that has to grow out of the feelings that you start to have about the other people in the world.
Yeah, and exactly like Doom had that kind of feel, like with the players actually played it through the first time. For example, like Game Newell played it through the first time. He was like actually like amazed how the atmosphere just like was very, very influential at the time for the game, and the influences from like movies and stuff like that, especially like horror movies like Aliens, I guess, and everything like that. But it's funny that like it was like Gabe Newell. Maybe there were like other people as well, like who were thinking that like there should be like a game emphasizing the atmosphere things more. And the thing is, if you're just saying that like games even before Half-Life did have the atmosphere. So, for example, Doom. If you're saying that Doom was purely an action game, you played it too much. Because it doesn't actually like have purely action, because it does have the atmosphere as well. But like, damn, Half-Life really wanted to like show that it just needs more, and it, every playthrough, it just needs to show, rather than like playing through the whole game and like being good at it, but also like enjoying the experience was the thing.
Gordon Freeman has really become somewhat synonymous with the crowbar. I think there are a couple reasons for that. First of all, it's sort of recognized, you know, a melee weapon does become sort of your signature weapon. Another thing that's really interesting, though, and I think that's more subtle, is that the crowbar is sort of your feeler into the world, right? It's the thing that allows you to. It's one of the ways that it's the first way you have of having physical input into the world. So it's a much more visceral weapon than lots of other things. You know, bullet impacts occur really far away, whereas a crowbar tells you exactly where things are in front of you, right? We worked very hard on that mechanic of getting the crowbar to stop in a way that felt right to people, and I think that's one of the reasons that the sort of subtle physical interaction that the crowbar has with the world that makes it such a satisfying weapon to use.
Yeah, the thing is, like, my first experience with the crowbar when I played through Half-Life 2 in 2014, it was like basically, I know they like tried to like imitate that stopping motion right there, but like when the crowbar was hitting like from two ways, what actually looked like is that I actually was hitting with my fist, the material with my fist, but it actually just like kept the clanking sound anyways. But yeah, in any case, I still love what they tried to do with that. But yeah, in any case, very good mechanic.
So with Half-Life 2, there were two things, sort of high-level goals
Fist
that we
hitting
had.
the
To make the characters
materials
in the world more meaningful and significant, and that drove a lot of decisions about AI and rendering and, you know, character design. And then there was the other part of our goal, which was to make the world more interactive, right? The world wasn't just going to be this stage on which the actions occurred, and, you know, you'd go running past things at 40 miles an hour and it never occurred to you that they have any gameplay significance. So we wanted to make the world part of the toolbox, part of the game experience as much as we could, which led us to the decision to do physics. So when we had made that decision, the big example in the industry was a game called Trespasser, which ended up being sort of a critical and commercial disaster. So it was a little scarier to actually come to this conclusion that it sounds nowadays when physics are really an accepted part of the game canon. And we were sitting in meetings and, you know, sort of with our head in our hands, just saying, you know, all we really need to do here is do a good job enabling the player to have inputs into the system. And somebody said, well, then why are we making it so hard? And that really became the genesis of the design of the grav gun, was to just simply allow the player to express themselves into the physics system.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Half-Life 2 being easier, it was already, like, pondered, why are we making this so hard? Because Half-Life 1 already, like, it was having bullet sponge enemies half the time and stuff like that. So, like, with the physics engine implemented, it was, like, supposed to be having, like, some kind of a subtle decrease of damage in the enemies as well. But, yeah. I really like the sound of audio sound in Half-Life as well. Like, the thing is, the sound design with the soundtrack, both made by Kelly Bailey, make some very interesting, like, atmospheric moments on the world itself. But in Half-Life 2, it was even more marvelous with the world just having direct contact with the player as well. It's like they made it so appealing that the player really could not, as Gabe just told, just like in Half-Life 1, go right past him. God damn it, it's very linear.
Push and pull, and so it was that realization that there's
sorry about that. I actually skipped that.
design of the grav gun was to just simply allow the player to express themselves into the physics system, to push and pull, and so it was that realization that there really was a model to optimize for that let us tune and focus in the design of the gravity gun. The origin of the story for Half-Life grew out of a sense of the possibilities for storytelling in the medium. It's like, what stories could we tell well? I personally got a lot of inspiration from Stephen King. One of the things he really does is he sort of grasps, Freud's notion of horror, which is the familiar made strange. It's of an ordinary day twisting out of control is way more horrible than something that's fantastic that tries to become horrible. There's a dynamic range question, and the larger the range between the normal and the abnormal, the more abnormal the horror becomes.
Yeah, that's very much true. And Half-Life 2, with these horror elements, was supposed to be more of a real horror game as well. With, I don't know, Mark Laidlaw even making more of a, I don't know about the story, but pretty much the atmosphere was just so much, even with the ambient tracks and everything, there still have been discovered some new ones as well. With Half-Life 2's beta release, I believe, with those ambient sounds. It was supposed to be a much darker game than just what it is now in the final release. But yeah, that's marvelous what they actually did with the game in the final version, rather than just making a horror game, which Half-Life 1 completely wasn't actually. And
so what we were trying to do with Gordon Freeman was to take advantage of that, and at the same time taking the player through this heroic progression. How are we teaching you to become a player, right? Yeah. We thought that was part of what we had to do with the design, was how do you go from being a guy on a train going to work with no weapons to being the guy who's saving the planet, and figuring out from a design point of view how we carry you through that experience drove a lot of our decisions. With Half-Life 2, we'd seen a lot of the potentials for what we could do with storytelling, with characters, and that drove a lot of our decisions about what we wanted to do. The story really needed to serve the game in terms of giving us a platform for doing things like Alex and supporting our goals of creating a more interactive world. So we were thinking about these things while we were developing Half-Life, and a lot of the original ideas that we had way back in 1996 are starting to see fruition as we go through some of these episodes. The decision to break into episodes wasn't really driven by the story requirements. The story sort of ended up being fit into 3 buckets. Typically in any of these larger arcs, it's not too surprising that you can think of them as 3 acts. I mean, that's a very traditional Hollywood-esque approach to storytelling. The decision to go with episodics was more driven out of the experience we had working on Half-Life 2, where we really weren't able to give anything to our customers for a 5-year period. And that was very hard on us as game developers, because we thrive on the feedback we receive. We get better when we know what people think, both positive and negative. And so with episodic, it really allowed us to tighten that loop up enormously. There are lots of benefits in terms of managing scale, in terms of reacting to what's happening on the hardware side. But one of the biggest reasons is simply so we don't get into a situation where we have to wait 5 years before hearing from the people who play our games about what worked and what we need to do better.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's actually the other way around. Since people are actually constantly complaining, but they have to wait several years for the 3rd installation to come out. And when you said 3 acts, there's still 2, but the 3rd one is yet to be seen somewhere. Sadly.
So with episode 1, one of the big things we wanted to do was focus on Alex. The character you play, Gordon Freeman, is transparent. He doesn't talk. We don't do cinematic cutaways. And at times the world can be pretty lonely. And what we wanted to do is to give you a proxy in the world. And as game designers and storytellers, one of the most important things that Alex does is she cues you to the emotional responses you can have. She's an amplifier. Like if she gets scared, you know, it makes it easier for the player to be scared. If she's disgusted or amused or funny, it gives us more a better ability to talk to the player about what's going on. It's like the music is one way of doing that, and it's an incredibly powerful way of doing it. But having the richness of a character like Alex in the world gives the designers, you know, another really powerful tool for accomplishing that. Alex is certainly a very important character. Our fans love her and so on, but we don't necessarily view the Half-Life world as Gordon Freeman plus Alex now. Alex is a great character. We like her a lot. You know, we'd like to do games that are about Alex. We'd like to do games that are about Dog. You know, I don't think we've really feel like we've made this decision that it's always going to be you playing Gordon in first person with Alex as a companion. Is that one of the defining characteristics? So one of the nice things about being independent, you know, we control our own destinies. The people who own the company are all the people who work in this building. You know, we feel like that gives us the flexibility to try things. And a lot of times in the industry, things just get done over because that's what was, you know, that was what was done last time. So this time with the Orange Box, we were really focusing on, you know, a great single player experience, a great multiplayer experience, something new that hadn't ever really been done before, and getting those into a box. And the fact that they ended up being 3 different games, you know, we think that's fine. And we think that there's a tremendous amount of value, but we've always tried to give people a tremendous amount of value. You know, somebody who bought Half-Life, who downloaded Counter-Strike for free, and, you know, 7 years later is still playing it, you know, they got a huge amount of value. And that's something that we've always tried to deliver to people. We want.
Yeah, the thing is, like, with Half-Life 2 Episode 2 and Portal and Team Fortress 2, those were the games. Like, first of all, Half-Life 2 Episode 2 was the game they had already, like, basically done. Team Fortress 2 was, like, basically a new multiplayer installation, and Portal was the thing they actually hadn't tried before. There it is. That's a very good bundle, to say the least. Probably the best possible FPS bundle you could ever have, like in the FPS franchise at least.
I want people to say after they buy one of our products, that was the best dollar I spent on any entertainment product, you know, in the last year.
Best dollar.
Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Team Fortress 2, and Portal. 3 great.
I had to show that. There is one, well, actually many cases Gaben has said 3, but there's still, yeah. Where is it?
Great games, 1 orange.
Oh yeah, it's actually, it's a little bit corrected, to say the least. It's actually 4.
Box, coming in October. I learned this from American Idol.
You really did now, you really did. Yeah, but the thing is, like, we're actually going to show the, actually, I'm going to put the display capture away now, put the game capture back on, yep. We're going to show the tech, pretty much, of Half-Life 2 Episode 1 that was, like, released in Source 2006, that version of Source. And, let's see. Like, Half-Life 2 Lost Coast itself was just like a 15-minute tech demo for the version of Source, from Source 2006, that is, featuring the HDR, high dynamic range rendering, and color correction, pretty much. But as far as the version of the whole Source engine goes, Half-Life 2 Episode 1 was still the first game to use that, obviously, but, like, it was already featured in 2005. But let's see, Lost Coast. I haven't, like, I only tried the what the hell, the pretty much the video stress test of this, but otherwise, like, I haven't actually just tested this in play, but I believe it's just, like, gonna work. Valve. Good old neck valve. I hope it's shown. Yep, there we go. Well, that's better. You didn't see that. The freaking neck valve. Took a while to actually just show the game or game capture. Game capture, what the hell. Boot sound. There we go. Half-Life 2 Lost Coast. And basically, being a tech demo, you can either just, like, choose the video stress test or just, like, start a whole new game. And we're going to start this with, I believe, the whole commentary thingy. So when you load the game, I think it just like has the option to turn the commentary on or off, and these are basically spoken by members of the Valve development team. These are some like I don't know, speech bulbs located in different areas of the whole thing. But I actually haven't like listened to these, so this will actually be a new thing to me as well. I have played through Half-Life 2 Lost Coast. I mean, it's such short of a freaking tech demo, but I did it without the freaking commentary. The start or stop a commentary, yeah, I know. And this was supposed to be in the final game, pretty much, Half-Life 2, and I'm gonna correct the audio a little bit. Let's see. Oh, Jesus, these are pretty high. Somewhere there. Captioning should be like dialogue only.
Hi, this is Gabe Newell, and welcome to the Lost Coast. In this tour, we're going to be talking about a new graphics technology we've been developing called High Dynamic Range, or HDR. We'll also be giving you some insight into the design and production challenges we faced during the construction of the Lost Coast. First, a quick explanation of the commentary system. To listen to a commentary node, put your crosshair over the floating commentary symbol and press your use key. To stop the commentary, put your crosshair over the rotating node and press your use key again. Some commentary nodes may take control of the game for the purpose of showing something to you. In these cases, simply pressing your use key will stop the commentary.
And I will have to actually just like see, oh, not the video stress test. I'll have to see if the HDR actually on. Yep, it is. Everything should be on. Color correction also on. I actually had that like enabled still in my Half-Life 2 playthrough, but I didn't have the HDR. But in any case, color correction, I've never actually noticed a huge difference in this, but when I put it off, oh Jesus, not like that. Disabled, apply, doesn't like put too much of a difference into the graphics maybe with the HDR on, but let's just enable it, I guess. Here we go. That's the fisherman right there. What's this?
When the art team started to think about a location that would demonstrate the power of HDR, a beach was one of the first choices we made. The visual relationship between the sky, the water, and the rocks is something we could not achieve without HDR. In order for high dynamic range to correctly simulate the light's interaction with the surfaces around you, like these wet rocks, we needed more precise information about the surfaces than we've had in the past. And now going forward, we're modeling textures in 3D packages to ensure that the physical information encoded in the texture allows HDR to correctly bounce light off the surface. We also designed the colors and values of each surface to ensure they will be correct across all exposure levels.
That's pretty insane. I mean, you didn't have this stuff in Half-Life 2, but you did have it in Episode 1. Showcased in just like only a few sections. I mean, Half-Life 2 Episode 1 didn't even have the beach sections pretty much, but this was the whole Lost Coast level was supposed to be part of the chapter Highway 17 in Half-Life 2, but they ended up just using the level in the tech demo of the HDR version of Source 2006.
With conventional rendering, seen here on the left, if something on the screen is 20% reflective, like the wet sand, then the maximum reflected brightness could only be 20% of the maximum brightness of your monitor.
Well,
HDR's more accurate simulation of light ensures that the sun's reflection on this wet sand appears as it would in the real world, which could potentially use 100% of the maximum monitor brightness.
Can I actually just disable that subtitles for a while? You won't be seeing the like what he's actually talking about. Let's see, audio, I think it was.
HDR uses bloom to simulate light that is beyond 100% of a monitor's maximum brightness.
Oh. Let me actually see that again. I mean, I do.
With conventional rendering, seen here on the left, if something on the screen is 20% reflective, like the wet sand, then the maximum reflected brightness could only be 20% of the maximum brightness of your monitor. HDR's more accurate simulation of light ensures that the sun's reflection on this wet sand appears as it would in the real world, which could potentially use 100% of the maximum monitor brightness. HDR uses bloom to simulate light that is beyond 100% of a monitor's maximum brightness.
That's very peculiar, actually, with that mechanic. The thing is, with the high dynamic range, even like the sun may be just like completely blinded by the rest of the clouds, I guess, but like it's with the limited brightness, I guess, on the monitor, high dynamic range still just like never ceases to amaze the freaking reflections and everything, not only made on water but on surfaces. Hello, fisherman.
Hey, you there? Wait a minute now, aren't you? You are. You're that scientist chap, Friedman, Fishman. Am I right?
Fishman.
You must be here to take on the Combine. Not sure what one man can do, but no other reason to visit St. Olga at a time like this. I'll take you to where they made their base, or as far as I can, at any rate.
Yep, and he's opening the whole scene for it, but before we actually just move on, I'm probably gonna save here and let the commentary just be for a while. I'm gonna like lead fisherman here on the gate of St. Olga, pretty much. And I'm actually gonna put the subtitles back on. There we go. For a while.
Here, now, let me just unlock this gate for you. Got the key right here.
Thanks.
There we go. Get along now, laddie. Destroy that gun and no dawdling.
No dawdling. Funny to mention, he's actually the voice actor for Father Grigori as well. But yeah, let's see. This commentary right here.
The process of building characters in Half-Life 2 taught us many things. By the end, we believed we'd figured out a more effective process for designing and constructing characters.
Yeah, like
This fisherman is the first character we built using that process. Design-wise, the fisherman was focused on showcasing HDR and the way light falls on human skin. The highlights on his forehead and nose are good examples of specularity on human skin. You can see how the wrinkles on his cheeks and around his eyes are an example of how we can use normal maps to add depth. Production-wise, the fisherman was built using a similar process to the rocks you saw on the beach. We model the 3D character at a very high detail, then extract much of the physical information and store it in the textures.
Yeah, so
if you make it back safely, I'll be here waiting for you.
Yeah.
There's a path up the cliff. Step lightly now.
No shit, I can barely see that. But yeah, the thing is,
Hurry,
like,
lad, get up the path.
I am trying to when I just get through this freaking commentary. But the thing is, like, even with, like, not only textures, but
get
also...
going.
Shut up. Also, like, facial expressions and character models also got the treatment at HDR with the lighting and stuff like that. It was basically
There's a path up the cliff. Step lightly now.
Basically an early, like, version of maybe ray tracing and stuff like that. It later evolved into that.
Water presents us with a lot of rendering challenges. In fact, we have to render the scene 3 times. Once for the refraction of what's under the water, once for the reflection of everything above the water, and once from the player's view. You can see the reflection and refraction scenes in the 2 small windows on screen. In the refraction, we calculate per pixel how much water you're looking through to do a volumetric underwater fog to simulate particulate matter.
Lagging a little bit, but yeah.
For our full HDR solution, we had to go through the entire engine and modify every bit of code that calculated light and color. For example, these water reflection and refraction renderings had to be improved to support the full range of contrast values.
Hurry, lad, get up the path.
I believe he's...
You make it back safely.
He's actually just,
I'll
like,
be
talking through the
frigging
nagging lines many times, but yeah. It's very curious how they're just actually...
You make it back safely. I'll be here, waiting for you.
Yeah, I know. They have to render it, like, what, 3 times for, like, HDR alone. That's why it led to some, like, many performance issues as well and everything like that. Well, didn't I have... Oh, I did have... Otherwise, the campaign itself is just like Half-Life 2. But even with weapons, even with different materials and stuff like that. Yeah, we can already see even the bloom on the wood a little bit and everything like that, even though there's like little bloom on that. Oh, on the texture. Let's try it. Yep. And they're bombing the whole freaking city right there with headcrab canisters. And I gotta take that. That was originally the thing you had to do here as well. If it actually got released in Half-Life 2. Wow! You piece of shit. Blocks my way. I guess my approach ain't made that easy. Oh yeah, you can actually destroy these tiers. Where do I go now, actually? I played this through, but I really cannot remember anything, as it's been 5 years once again. Maybe here. There we go. Yeah, in this version, they actually have the pain sounds still, but I don't know why Valve later removed the pain sounds. Not at the final release of Half-Life 2, but I think in the later releases of Source. Yep, they're bumming.
The area you're currently entering is called the Cliffside Arena. We were particularly happy with the vertical cliffside in Half-Life 1, and regretted that we didn't iterate further on that concept in Half-Life 2. Vertical space allows us to force the player to deal with threats from above and below. We find that players focus their view on the direction they're traveling, so by using a cliffside and having the player ascend it, we ensure that the player will look up and be prepared for enemies. If the player's path was to move past the bottom of the cliffside, it would be unlikely he would notice soldiers rappelling down from above.
Yeah.
And dying from unknown threats never feels fair, and certainly isn't fun.
Exactly. That's really a shame, and Half-Life 2 never got the same treatment with the vertical cliffsides as Half-Life 1 did. And, oh, what do we have in our RPG here? We got an SMG grenade. Almost missed that grenade. Didn't fully miss it. Yeah, it is like it being a tech demo. I mean, that's very cool to have, actually, explaining the different stuff implemented in the Source engine. Oh boy, this is kind of dangerous. Shoot you with a crossbow on you, I guess I'm just gonna... Not too accurate with the SMG. There we go. Yeah, the rappelling soldiers also were a thing. I mean, you can just hear the rappel and immediately looking up. But yeah, there we go.
One of the features of our HDR solution is dynamic tone mapping. The easiest way to think about dynamic tone mapping is that it's a method of simulating the way the human eye reacts to light. In the real world, you've probably walked into a dark room and noticed your eye adjusting to the darkness, letting you see better after some time. Or you've walked out into a bright day and been blinded by the sun, only to have your eye adjust and allow you to see normally.
Yeah.
Your iris is adjusting itself in response to the amount of light hitting your eye. Dynamic tone mapping simulates this by automatically adjusting the exposure of the scene to mimic the behavior of your iris. You can see this as the view moves from the dark tunnel to the bright sun and back again. Here, you can see the way we calculate the amount of light hitting the player's eyes.
Oh.
We take a snapshot of the scene, measure the brightness levels, and then use that to adjust exposure. We consider light at the center of the screen more important than at the edges, to better simulate the geometry of the eye.
That's not bad. I really love that. Damn, it's really a shame I didn't do this with the commentary, because I was only, I don't know, 14, stuff like that, but yeah. I haven't played Half-Life for a long time. I really recommend you should play, if you have played through Half-Life 1, that's brilliant, because then you can actually play through Half-Life 2. Sadly, like on the Halloween sale, if you didn't buy Half-Life 2, it was like for $1 or €1, and it was a very good deal on the store. But I really like this, like with HDR, stuff like this was damn brilliant in single-player games, but that's why many Counter-Strike Source players, at least, don't use HDR, and that's why I didn't use it on my most of FPS playthrough. But damn, even when zooming in, when I'm on the correct position, I guess the freaking meter and stuff like that was super cool. Oof. Measuring light on the player's screen as well as just adjusting it on the different levels. Yeah, that's what HDR was all about, and that was the early implementation of like a how would I say? Well, I guess ray tracing it a little bit. You don't have any traces or anything like that. That's how cool it was. Even Doom 3 did not have that feature.
The courtyard in front of you is a space we call an arena. Arenas are built to hold the player for a period of time, and usually contain combat or some other challenge. They often have multiple entry points for enemies, along with a gate of some kind to prevent the player moving on, until the challenge has been completed. In this case, the arena is free of enemies until the player solves a puzzle and triggers an alarm. This is a method that allows the player to explore the arena and get a sense of its space before being forced to fight in it. It adds a sense of uneasiness to the player who's expecting to be attacked now that they've reached the goal set for them at the start of the map. The break in the action here is also a crucial part of the level's pacing. It allows the player to recover and explore the world a little after being attacked on the way up the cliffside.
So what is exactly the puzzle here then? Maybe that, yeah. Going up the scaffolding. Thanks for the ammo and the ammo. I don't know exactly, but you can use this. No, it's metal. It's fully like stand on the ground there. I guess it's scaffolding after I should stand. But again, I believe he's just talking about either that or let's see. Sure, I don't even know what this is. Yeah. Just look at that view. Frigging city's being bombed to smithereens. Let's find the same angle. The previous canister's probably destroyed by now. That is just finding the same angle right there. See if you can know the scaffolding over. Over my body at least, yeah. It's just completely not a physical object, so it's just part of the world basically. What I can do is try moving those. Boy, everything else out. Let's see. Out of the paint cans. Oh! Something dropped. Was it you? Oh! They were hold by the freaking paint can right there. With gravity. Oh, that's stuck. Oh! I don't know what I'm exactly doing here, but I believe I just couldn't continue on. Maybe it could have been like a cut feature of the game. Like, well, at least in this case, to explore the world with enemies coming in right at you. But I don't see any enemies either. And the thing is, that's the only thing I can actually just like interact with really well. And there's actually water. What? Phew. But I'll try actually if I can actually go on, but let's see. Yeah,
we wanted to transition from a
The Source engine supports a wide variety of shaders. The refraction shader on the window here requires us to copy the scene to a texture, refract it, and then apply it to the window surface.
Damn.
To fully support HDR, every shader in the engine needed to be updated. So this refraction shader was improved to support the full range of contrast. If you viewed the sun through this window, it would be refracted correctly.
Alright. I guess it is. Although the freaking texture itself, I mean, you can barely see the rough edges of the texture. Those had to be like refined a little bit. Although I don't even know if I have like all the settings to full. I actually have to see that. Yep, very high textures, very high everything, I believe. Even anti-aliasing on 8. Damn. But there we go. Let's move on. Finally listen to Victor once. music started to kick in. It's actually a little too quiet here. Yeah, I mean, this is HDR right here. I believe these are just still like artificial, but and it's not the earliest example of maybe ray tracing you've got in gaming, let alone FPS. But still a very good implementation of how the sun actually just like works out the rest of the detail for you. Look, even your weapons just like light up. You see that? It's marvelous to see. Alright, but yeah, let's see Victor.
We wanted to transition from a bright, wide open space into a tighter, closed one to showcase HDR's dynamic tone mapping. We also like to focus on contrasting elements in our settings, like ancient human architecture and futuristic combine technology. A monastery fit these requirements perfectly. Monasteries are generally isolated, unlit, and built ages ago. They provide a great backdrop for the contrasting combine technology. When we build fictional settings, we try to ground them by basing them off a real-world location. We use this location as a design constraint that forces a logical consistency behind the art choices.
Yeah, I really wonder what monastery this is actually from. Yeah, the light reflection is really smooth. Indeed it is. Just look at that. HD freaking R. That's the thing. High dynamics range. Get some armor here first. Before moving on. Save a little bit. But yeah, that's why in multiplayer it was cool to look at. But naturally, like, it was improving graphics, which usually in multiplayer isn't the thing you'd really want. Especially when it comes to lighting, when it comes to like different looking enemies. So lights and shadows mainly, like affected multiplayer so much, and that's why even in Counter-Strike Source and maybe in Team Fortress 2, people just disable high dynamic range.
Churches are great dramatic spaces. They're often lit naturally with extremes of darkness and brightness, which makes them a great showcase for HDR. Gothic churches are the sober monochromatic spaces that you've seen in almost every horror movie or game. Byzantine churches, on the other hand, are very colorful and have a large variety of materials. We wanted that color and material variety to show off our HDR reflections.
And I guess this is actually one of those Byzantine churches. Well, let's see. Ah! There's nothing actually here. I thought that would be something in the altar, but never mind. Nothing here? Nope.
Our games are filled with things we call gates, which are essentially just challenges that the player must overcome to drive the experience forward.
Oh.
We used a puzzle here since the player has been through combat and exploration recently. When we design challenges, we try to ensure that the player's goal and the action required by the player are both fun. It's not hard to create interesting goals for the player, like stopping this machine from shelling the nearby village, but the action required by the player to solve the challenge needs to be fun as well. So instead of something menial, such as hitting an off switch, the player gets to use physics to jam the gun's mechanism and cause it to break.
That's very clever. With the Source engine, this could be done more than enough times. It's such a thing. And here, putting this, well, maybe this thing right in between the whole gun, we'll jam it, and it ends up firing nothing else than just thin air, maybe. Well, one shell, I guess, but yeah, it doesn't load up anything. So, it's broken. Oh, aircrafts! Airgroups! They're shelling us with aircrafts. That's what actually happened in Half-Life 2. Oh, and it seems they quickly called a gunship. Yep, indeed they did. Oh, look at that. The lighting actually improved because of that. I actually gotta move on. I don't know if I can actually go back. Let's see. No, I cannot. I heard combat soldiers. I do have the rocket launcher, but usually it's here. Oh, where? Oh, yeah. They get into the door. It's here. shotgun next. Oh, and it's actually not a gunship, it's the helicopter. Probably the early implementation of the Hunter chopper as well, which had a front gun at the moment. There we go. Alright. Get ready to eat some carrots. I mean, that's what they look like. They're they look like carrots. I mean, when you try to pick them up. Freaking grenades. Diffing me up. So what was the physics? Oh. Indeed it was not. Now I'm actually just... I was a bit blocked there. So alright, you bastard, where are you?
This marks the end of the Lost Coast tour. This has been an experiment on our part to see if our community would find it interesting to learn more about our development process. As always, we're interested in your feedback. I can be reached at gaben, Gaben, at valvesoftware.com. If people like this, we'll keep producing this kind of content for all of our games going forward. Thanks for listening.
Well, people sure enough did like it on single player. That's what we mentioned. But there we go. This does mark the end with the Hunter chopper destruction. Screw you, you little piece of shit. Oh, this actually doesn't make it. Yep. 3 rockets. Not bad. Not bad at all. I do like this tech demo so much, and I just missed that ammo crate. God damn it. Oh well. Well, that's all I can pretty much do. When I destroyed the chopper, what else I can do is just like go down here maybe. Oh, very carefully. I don't know where to land the safest here. Wait! Did not fall over. Alright, thank you very much for stopping by, blah blah. Thank you very much for the follow too, yeah. I'm gonna continue the episode though, like it isn't completely over. I'm gonna continue the episode with either Half-Life Source or maybe something else. But in any case, I just wanted to showcase that tech demo as well. A complete conversion. There we go. Whee! Complete conversion of Half-Life into the Source engine. Doesn't feature too many things. Oh, goddammit. I went in and crashed on this physical object. Now I'm actually... I might die. This could be critical. Oh, never mind. Oh, oh, no, 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 no. I'm just bouncing on the trap. I'm not even pressing anything. Oh, no!
You did it, lad. Come on with me to St. Olga. We'll celebrate this victory with a feast. I, hope you like leeches.
No.
Hey, where you going?
I don't like leeches! Yeah, indeed I do. Now get the hell out of my life. I don't like leeches one bit. Alright, there we go. That was Half-Life 2 Lost Coast. As short as it was, even with the commentary. Like, I believe that was only like, what, 30 minutes. But in any case, the next game is probably going to be like Half-Life Source. Let's see. It's like the complete conversion to Half-Life over to the Source. But I believe, like, there's nothing I could actually do right after this as far as multiplayer goes. Well, maybe I could do Half-Life 2 Deathmatch maybe first. Yeah, let's do that. Because the multiplayer portion is basically just, like, I don't know. It included, what is it, Counter-Strike Source, as well as Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. And it came out, I want to check the store page of Steam. Well, the 2nd of November 2004, 2 weeks before Half-Life 2. Because Half-Life 2 was released on 16th of November, if I recall correctly. Oh, yes it was. Damn it. Played the intro of Half-Life there. Or what the hell, the intro of Valve. But yeah, there we go. Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. I'm going to start it over in just a moment. I played this for quite a bit. I mean, well, 7 hours old. But I still do enjoy the multiplayer Half-Life 2 even. I mean, it's basically a port over not a complete port over of Half-Life Deathmatch over to like Half-Life 2 maybe with Half-Life 2 weapons and stuff like that. You either play as, I don't know, I mean it's mostly TDM, but you either play as like the Rebels or the Combine, but still hold the same weapons and everything, even the gravity gun, and you have some like different physics objects to fiddle around with the gravity gun and stuff like that, but also you have the weapons, and mostly people are just using RPGs and stuff like that to kill people, but yeah. Let's see, Runoff, Lockdown, and Overwatch. I believe Overwatch was one map I really enjoyed. And it might have been the scene where, let's see. Yeah, there might have been the snipers and stuff like that. But yeah, in any case, I'm going to put the sounds a little bit lower, maybe. Maybe not the music. I mean, there's no music in multiplayer, obviously, but I still do not want my my ears to get blown off, pretty much. Let's see, Lockdown was pretty much, let's see, what is it? Nova Prospect. Without the end lines this time, but in any case, it is a very good map as well. Runoff was, I believe, I actually will go to Runoff first, since I believe this is a map, even though I just downloaded it as a map. Damn it! Maybe a little bit low. There. Or even low. There. Yeah, so Runoff was, or is, maybe like a version of, like one of the places in Water Hazard. You can actually find some better, but without water, actually, yeah, just without any airport. They're just deathmatching around, throwing physics objects at people and stuff like that. That would be very good deathmatch. I love how Half-Life 2 released. And I love this deathmatch. I still do. Though what most people are using, like I said, are just even the revolvers. But as far as the first Half-Life's deathmatch goes, it was like, this was nothing like even the movement and stuff like that. So Half-Life 2 deathmatch was less of an like arena is. And more of a really, like, I don't know, just a standard deathmatch multiplayer game. I do like the spawn section on this server. Health just gradually decreases. What are you doing? I think it'd be a real player. Can't hold grenades. Oh, damn it! I killed myself with my grenade. I believe he just like grabbed it with a gravity gun and just threw it at me. That's also what you do with this. I feel it all. And he finally died. Oh, now he's dead. Blowing up. Smithereens, especially that guy. Those guys. It's only when you get, for, I guess, for the Combine side, it's only the FPS as the gravity gun stuns. What the hell happened there? Yeah, stunstick is pretty much in place of the, what is it? The crowbar here in the Combine side, but it's a little bit slower and probably does more damage. Shotgun. Yeah, it's basically one of the places in Water Hazard chapter without any water whatsoever. And you really don't want to hold the barrels and anything like too long. You can't move with a freaking crowbar. sounds do bug a bit when you have the multiple sounds playing at the same time. Man, you're dead, something like that. Got no more grenades, I got no more rockets. Even this can take, I mean it doesn't take long to match, but the gravity gun should I don't know how they were like in the next work with all the physics and stuff like that. But it like didn't take much. It's cold then.
Double kill.
Like some of the servers might like depending, like, not even on the ping, but like on the location maybe where the server was hosted. I guess the physics and everything were just a little bit laggy. Oh yeah, you can also go here. Why didn't that ladder actually allow us to climb up there? I guess it's because the enemies, the rebels, are constantly just going up here. Very often enough. Oh, I see. So this is one of those. Oh, yeah. So this is basically Crossfire in Half-Life 2. You hold the console, a person use the console pretty much, and then it's a nuke. Maybe this time it's a singularity cannon or something like that. I don't know. Oh, that's a crowbar. Oh, I got the slam. The slam is basically the trip mine for the satchel hybrid. Oh, there we go. I've got one. Yeah, it's a trip mine satchel hybrid over from Half-Life 1 to Half-Life 2, which got unused in Half-Life 2, but later on was included in Half-Life 2 Deathmatch right here. Don't laugh at me. Freaking game, somebody laughing in the background. Pretty annoying. Oh. Got the hell off. I'm gonna get a kill with that. Oh, now I'm outside. I wonder what the timer of that freaking cannon is. Oh. Okay, so the headcrab canisters actually hold a nuclear warhead that actually got crushed right underneath one before getting blown into smithereens. I don't have the slam. It's actually this is like short by slam, but it has like the real name also. That's the acronym for it.
Killing spree.
There it is. Selectable lightweight attack munition. Yeah. So you have like two choices here to like place the slam. Basically, as a satchel, or pretty much as a trip mine. You can even activate both in case of like, because you really want to. There we go. 2 is better than 1.
Double kill.
Oh, wang. What are you doing? Those are probably bombs. Oh, I see. He threw a grenade at me with a gravity. It's really hard in this freaking action already. It's really hard to do. So with a gravity gun, it's even harder here to like pull here the. Oh, there we go. Oh, I didn't kill him. It was him. It's hard to pull here the ticks on the timer. And I'm out of control. I believe also the grenade timer is a little bit shorter. Headshot. I believe that was at least. He got crossbow. Okay, let's see. I got no grenades. Shut up! You have to be very fast. It's only a tactical choice. Double kill. 11 HP. Oh no, oh no. We're gonna offer the ladder. Oh, I see, you cannot. That's why the bots were stuck. You cannot actually enter that, even as a combat. Even as a rip. Here. I guess there's just like ladders on each side. But actually supposed to be side here? No. Okay, voice chat changes. Double kill. Yep. New pit it is as a new pit does. Alright. That was my kill. Those freaking ragdoll jets and everything. The lead-ons are very goddamn interesting. But like here, Insane's there's a force respawn system, so I haven't been that too many times. Hillbillies. Hillbillies. High-speed combat. There's nobody playing right there. But I could go with that. Let's see, just to showcase the weapons, I guess. I mean, there was some minor differences between this game, the freaking deathmatch version of Half-Life 2, as well as the Half-Life 2 release itself, the single player. Current season fall 2019. Can I join? Match ended. Perkele. Can't join. Match ended. Yeah, sadly, you probably need some more players for this, but yeah. Did it? What was that? Oh, just gonna quit on that. Maybe just go to Saints.de once again, if I could actually just find it. Maybe threw out the name list. There we go. So let's see. I already played a runoff, but Lockdown was basically Nova Prospect, but I wanted to see Overwatch if it's actually the sniper map. Yep, yes it is. So this is when you had snipers in Heist. Oh my god. Yeah, you pretty much had the snipers here. I did mention this in my Half-Life. This whole area surrounding this building is a deathmatch arena, and here it is. Oh, shit. I got shot by a couple of minutes. players are completely like unblocked for you. I mean, the teammates, I mean, but the rest of the players, the enemies, mostly not. Ow! Directed from a friggin' rocket. Only not to kill me. Usually it does. Another headshot. I probably didn't kill him. Nice little weekend once again. Perkele. What if he actually answers that? Because like you cannot see how many of these bots actually play since they all have pings, but the thing is, I have to actually investigate this. I believe there's actually no players playing the character. Well, there is a couple. There's 3 players. I wonder if Dice Double DK is one of them. Yeah, pretty much about the weapons. I mean, when you move around with the AR2, the field model, the gun model does not actually evolve. But for the other weapons, it basically does. I believe. Yeah. Grenade. There's gravity gun could be. Oh, never mind, it does. Look at. What if there were actually any other weapons than the involved in the crossbow? As far as the sounds go, it has the original like reloading sound, like you remember from Half-Life 1. But pistol still the same. Everything else is just all the same, though. Oh, damn it! Got her by a grenade. And I hear an infinite, rocket sound all the time. You hear that? Somebody's rocket hasn't actually hit. Right? It might have been hit, but like, sorry about that, man. Completely blow up those rockets. I mean, fail. Fast frantic deathmatch action. I just don't put my words. That's how fast it is. As it should be. Oh, double kill. Let's have a little bit. Melee! Damn it! Melee! And what made it difficult now with the crossbow is that the bolts are actually projectiles. That was the case with Half-Life 1 still. Bolts were actually just hit scan when you zoomed in. They were only projectiles if they didn't zoom in, in which case they were explosive. Bugged in my shotgun gun model. Käsi Käsikranatti, what the hell? Like, that's a player who joined, and that's a Finnish word actually, or 2 words. That basically means hand tie. It wouldn't mean hand grenade if it actually said Käsikranatti, but that's actually just like, what the hell? Hand tie. I guess he's just like got his name from. Why do we all have to get in ridiculous ties? Screw. But to say the least, I do enjoy this kind of action. Even if it was Half-Life 2. And even if it wasn't the biggest thing that I worked on back in 2004. Siitä sait, saatana. How'd you say that to him in the board direction? I don't know about this guy. He doesn't seem too real. He has a Finnish name. Taistelu Ike. Battle IKE. IKE, that is. But he doesn't play like a normal player. That's a bot for sure. Yeah, and he killed me. And the crossbow here. I believe you could get a crossbow here. Spawn right away. As a like a cooldown. Revolver. Takes a while to reload, like in one. Still a very good head shooter. Boom alarm. Double kill. Ammunition depleted. Oh shit! I killed himself. Damn it! You and your freaking double kill. Like here in deathmatch, it probably didn't matter too much if the revolver actually had only 18 bullets. But on single player, I don't know why they actually just like make the revolver so much. Double kill. Oh! Double kill. Double kill. Oh yeah, there's one of the rebel spawn actually. Oh yeah, the spawns just got switched, yeah. I believe it. I mean, as usual in deathmatch, it just like comes down to how many combos are. How many enemies are. Double kill. So the spawn actually gets swapped. Being so many players here, I think this is very good. It's a little bit different. Like, there's gonna be like many spawn killers to say the least. Damn it! I would have been throwing a grenade. Oh! I don't know if it was a bot, but he sure is amazed about that. It took a while to kill him. It's like, hold on, well, I'll just get this grenade here and boop! Boop. Error name. I guess he just quit. Yeah. Might have been a bot. Now even the other Finnish player has quit. Yeah, I guess. Damn it! Well, you can even team kill people here or what? You know, I saw somebody just. Oh, no, not a rebel. This guy switched over to rebel. I'm still killing rebels. Double kill. Damn it! Ow. Oh, I see. He's a real player, I believe. No bot could actually do that. What did he do? Lewis! We're not even in Left 4 Dead, and Lewis is already screwing things up. Ooh, 2 HP. 0 HP. Negative HP, that's the explosion, I guess.
Double kill.
Oh, that's my teammate. Ah! People are laughing here as well. Not through voice chat, but through some piece of shit. Stuff. What's up, Chris? Welcome. Yeah, this is multiplayer. This is Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. You and your freaking SMGs. I got a better weapon for this. Rocket launcher. Boom. It is, well, these are, some of these are bots, but still, like, even on season servers. On runoff, there's still like 7 people playing this time. I mean, it's on EU, and currently in EU here, it's just like almost 1 AM. But I'm gonna like complete this portion of the special episode and move on to Half-Life Source. And that won't be like a real episode, but I'm just gonna showcase what it is like. The Source engine. That will be maybe the third portion of this episode, the special episode. So one server with 13 players, yeah. It is still active. I mean, there's people who actually love this deathmatch. It ain't nowhere near as Half-Life 1's deathmatch feels like. Especially when, well, there are different maps, as well as the physics don't even, like, when you're just trying to pull stuff like this on players, it doesn't kill them. But the barrel is and you cannot actually like strafe jump at all, I believe. Maybe you can a little bit if you just practice it enough shift, but otherwise it was completely removed after Source. Was it 2006? I really cannot remember. Because the jumping mechanic was just off the charts, but some speedrunners can still do it. Maybe with the scroll wheel, that's about it. The game is very loud and you can barely hear me. What the hell? Thought I put it down. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's very much true. I did forget to put it back to 10.8 decibels. 10.8, there we go. Thank you very much for mentioning that, because I completely forgot about that. Now it should be much better. It's my friend. Why am I shooting my friends? Yeah. Team Rebels. Get the hell out of my way. But I'm gonna maybe, include the modding scene and everything in a special. What the hell? This is still the special episode, but in a different part of the special episode. So this will be part 1. Part 2 will contain maybe the mods. Boom! Triple kill. Boom! Headshot. Why am I shooting my own teammates? Double kill. There's a beast of a weapon right here. Been playing Density 2, yeah, Destiny 2. Which I think I told you, but I'm not. Yeah, you probably have. I remember like Density 2. Said something about that. Damn it! Damn it! Took it a little bit. Step back. Really hate predicting this piece of shit crossbow. There we go. Also this time, yeah, with the rebels you have the crowbar, which might deal the same amount of damage as the stun stick, but it's twice as fast. We already have noticed, didn't we? Half-Life 2, the playthrough. What are you staring at? You too. Don't know how to reload a freaking RPG, I guess. They probably had no ammo, no other weapons to use. Stun stick. Yeah, it is a baton, but basically, let's see. Oh, there's Dice Devil Weekend. So that's what actually happened, yeah. Switched off the teams and so did Dice Devil Weekend. Was it Finnish either player or a bot? Because he has a Finnish name. He's just camping. He's a real deathmatch camper. That's a player for sure. Mr. Old NWZE. I've taken the lead with 99 kills. Oh, indeed I have. Oh, shit. Come on. Oh, why am I shooting my teammate? The barrel. Damn it. You can spawn kill people here, but like, some of these guys could be camping a whole lot. Especially that, yeah, that guy I'm just currently challenging, taking the lead right here. What are you doing? Yeah, he's clearly, that guy is clearly bombing. Not that guy. He's just camping with a rocket launcher here. Exactly, he knows his ways. Camper. I didn't get him. I might have actually died on the way there. I was destroying people. Why am I shooting at him? Still feel like I'm on Combine, although I had to slaughter the Combine. With a crossbow, though, you can make some very weird ricocheting around. Oh my god, look at that gun go. Because if you shoot it... Oh, what the hell? Right on the surface, whilst not completely looking at, like, directly 90 degrees towards the surface, it might ricochet off the floor there. That's me. Yeah, he's not here. Oh, yes he is. He clearly has like some premium thingies or something like that. What are you doing? Damn it! Give me that. Alright, that's right, they're unblocked. Forget about that. Cling! Yeah, flying ragdoll, they indeed are the best. And you really are always amazed, even after, like, what? This was released in 2005, so 14 years, even after that. It's still amazing seeing those fly. And he's still there. He's still up there. But I already destroyed him. He really has like some 200 health and some premium shit on Saints.de, because that's what the servers even are sometimes. He's yeah, he is. Sadly, I think you cannot penetrate people with the crossbow bolts. Yeah, so you cannot make like any double whammies with one bolt. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh, no, I'm not. Hello there. Right on spawn. There we go, I finally killed him. Oh, did I? No. No, I didn't. I thought his ragdoll fell over. There we go, now I did. There we go. Killed him. According to the game, I have taken the lead, or have I? Yes, I have. And just 7 kills. Barely passed him. That's what you get for camping, man. That's what you get for camping. Get a teabag in for a long. Oh, he just spawned. He just spawned right next to me. Oh, there we go. These spawns, exactly. Yeah, there's only like, what, 8 spawns total, and we're playing with like 32 people here, I believe, since there's like, the rest of them are filled with bots. Now, this is not clearly 32. Let's see, that's the 6, oh wait, 8 on the other team and 6, yeah, just 16 players. Or players lost filled. It could be with either players or bots. Nah, I didn't get it. You didn't get a kill with that. Don't take the PC there. I like killing them with the physics objects, especially the exploding barrels. That's the only way you can kill people in at least this server. The others might actually include like collision and stuff like that, but here it's off. Double kill. Headshot. The hitboxes are also pretty wide. But yeah, there we go. That's basically like what's all to show about Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. I mean, there are different maps, and even Lockdown. Well, I could showcase that, but like it's only a small arena about Nova Prospect of Half-Life 2. Without the landlines. And this area here, I think you can basically... Wait a minute. I don't even know if that's... what that's for there. But you can just basically attach that there, but it does... Nothing? And it just falls over. What the hell? Oh, does it open this? No, I don't know what it does. I hear a clang on the other side, I guess, but like I cannot get over to the other side. Unless it opens this. No, it doesn't. What is it? There's a spade on the other end there. Oh, I see. So it just like activates that fan there. Yeah. Alright, we're combining it. Certainly, like, not a smaller map, has smaller areas than the previous maps. Yeah, you saw lightning inside that duct because, well, it wasn't lightning, but it was sparks because something was stuck inside that duct. If you haven't played Half-Life 2, you don't know about that. You might actually just, like, refer to it as lightning, I guess. Yeah, it does, but like somebody's blocked that trap. Something like that. You piece of shit. I think you killed me. Almost killed me. Nope. There's a teammate here called Rookie Balboa. Rookie Balboa. I think he's right here. This is most likely a bot. There we go, double kill. Even killed him. I'll switch teams. Exactly. Oh boy. Yeah, oh, I'm on the rebels now. Let's see, so I gotta kill combines. Robin Hood. What's his name? Oh. Got some damage on him with a grenade. I have taken the lead with 20 kills, though. I guess the game just restarted here. Yeah. Getting it. I want to see, like, with this motion right here, if there's actually damn it! And the enemy is right in front of me. Because if I just hold the barrier right there, a barrel right there in front of me, I basically cannot see anything. Alright. Also kill my teammate. God damn it. Somehow. Oh, let's see. I put the block in. It just doesn't move. You see that fan right there? Oh, I see. So the fan is when the fan is on, it just blows me away like this. So I gotta go the other way. Let's see. What is it here? That's my friend. What even is here? I remember this section. This is actually in the game. You have to, like, completely destroy this fan with this. Let's try this. Can actually do that here. Maybe not, since the fan could be, like, non-collisioned, if that's the right term for it. Let's try it now. I blocked the fan. Let's see what happens now when I just put the plug in. Oh, I see. So, wait a minute. It's always plugged in. Let's try to always be unplugged. What is this? What if I use it? No, I cannot use it.
You have lost the lead.
Well, somebody screwed it. I also thought the plug would actually just, like, deplug, but I guess... I already tried, like, opening it, but let's try it this way. Nope, didn't work. How about a cinder block right there?
You have lost the lead.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't work, I don't know. Too bad. Oh well. Well, that's at least gonna be it for, like, Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. Hello. But someone just plugged in. Well, I don't know. That's all there is really to show about that. I mean, there are more maps, and even maybe community-made maps as well, but I don't know. Lockdown, Overwatch, and Runoff maybe being the, maybe an Octagon, I guess, I don't know. Being the default maps for that. Very good maps still. But let's see, let's see. Oh, Half-Life Source. Now, I'm not going to play through the whole game, obviously, since Half-Life Source does, like, offer the playability, or, like, pretty much the choice to start from whatever episode you actually want. It, like, basically being on the Source engine, it just, like, has the same features as Half-Life 2 already did, as far as the, well, story of the game actually goes. Choosing your own episode. But as far as the whole game goes, I believe this is still on 720p, yes it is. I could keep everything on high, even the NTLA is just like hot enough. Oh, look at Barney there. Hey! Hey, you take me down! He's not even dead. This is Half-Life Source. He should have been jibbed a long time ago already, but he's not even jibbed. Look at that. Somebody play some techno right here. Alright, let's see. Training room. Since we didn't do the training room in Half-Life 1, we're actually going to do it right here. It basically is what you expect. I mean, even with the, I don't know, yeah. Same instructions, same everything. Only this time it sounds a little bit different. Textures, even shading is somewhat is a little bit different. I'm actually going to check if I have everything on high. Well, let's put motion blur on, everything on very high, reflect all, use bloom effect when available. What's up, Elf? Welcome.
Hello and welcome to the Black Mesa Hazard Course, where you will be trained in the use of the hazardous environment suit. I am your holographic assistant. Let's begin by stepping into your suit. You can see it suspended up ahead of you. If you see one of these buttons, press it, and I will appear to demonstrate certain moves.
We goddamn know that. I mean, well, we basically didn't do the training in Goals of FPS just yet in the first Half-Life, but basically most of the sounds, well, not most of them, but like some of the world sounds were replaced with Half-Life 2 sounds, and to say the least, the shaders as implemented in the Source engine were present in here. But otherwise, I can say it's just like Half-Life. Apart from even the physics engine, which also got implemented thanks to Source. But what was mostly like implemented as far as the physics go is maybe like when you are approaching the crates and everything. But yeah.
In your HEV suit can be slightly
No, we're not playing through Half-Life Source. We did play it through though in Goals of FPS.
And soon it will fit you like a second skin. I will see you.
Not Half-Life Source though, but Half-Life.
Hey, Doc.
Half-Life Source being... Oh, what's up, Shadow? Yeah. You turned up at the very, very good time too, Shadow. But yeah, Half-Life Source being updated also on the water graphics, and this was what players were very amazed at to see already in Half-Life 1. But, yeah. Let's see. Can I actually swim down here? I don't know. Oh, I can. I didn't know this. I can just basically
love boat. We be making another run.
Only on kills, Shadow. Only on kills. That's my rule from now on. Also, that's what the door does. I've never actually gone from under there and then just opened this door, because that's what it does, actually. I cannot open it from this side, never. Speaking of the door opening sound, or the freaking locked sound. It's in Source, not in Half-Life 1. That sound. Same goes with the door opening sound.
The first move we will practice in the hazard course is basic jumping. You will attempt to get over this set of pipes using only your run and
PC
jump
was having
commands.
issues, but now it's fine. All right.
It helps to get a running start. Watch me and then try it yourself.
Watch me. I like the freaking audio as well. Yeah. Speaking of Lowang, what's your opinion about the voice lines from Shadow Warrior 2016? I haven't played through that. I own both. Shadow Warrior, Shadow Warrior 2, the remakes, but I haven't played through those. Alright, let's see. At least these sounds are a bit more high quality. Oh, there we go. Please proceed to the next area.
You will now duck under the next set of obstacles.
Easy.
Please note that
Making muffins. Move on to the next
now
area.
We will combine skills.
Yep. Easy enough. Muffins. Gene is still talking.
To get into these pipes, you will have to
Crouch jump. Yeah, basically it was Half-Life otherwise, but like as far as the, I don't know, shaders and went, even though they were good looking, good features as well, as far as the future gaming went in 2004, or even earlier in 2003, they, I mean, it was only good that Valve didn't completely port the rest of the Gold Source games, as they were actually planned.
The next 3 jumps.
Hard on my ass. I've completed this, but I haven't actually completed this in Half-Life Source. Power assist movement. Whee!
Nice job.
Woohoo! Wee! Yeah, basically everything else is just Half-Life. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. In some cases, is like as far as even the shaders go, they just made the game a little bit uglier.
Now that you're up here,
and
there's only one way down. Find the target on
I would have
the
maybe
below
just like
and do your best to hit it.
imagined.
If you take any
God damn
damage
it!
from the fall,
Shut up,
we
Gina.
will administer medical care at the next station throughout the Black Mesa complex. Walk up to a med kit and press your use key.
The stream keeps freezing. Well, it's not my problem since it's not showing any issues here. Yeah, not issues on Streamlabs.
A med kit cannot be reused.
Not only here. I'll have to reload. Yeah, I see. Gotta be your internet, yeah. But yeah, the thing is, I was about to say, I would have maybe loved to see TFC, T-Fortress Classic that is, ported over from Gold Source to Source completely, and then just like people playing it around. But sadly that didn't happen, but I think it's only for the good, since would have maybe made the game a little bit uglier with the shaders. I mean, with that engine, it only just like deserved the graphics it already had, and never like anything more would have just like hurt its reputation maybe. Same goes with Half-Life. But good thing that this was only like a tech demo for the Source. Half-Life. I said Half-Life. Did not.
Try jumping this gap on your own. If you can't push the obstacle out of your way, you might try pulling it. To pull a box, move up to it.
What was that? Let me.
Sometimes you'll need to rely on more than just your suit.
Yeah, basically, if you drop things and everything in Half-Life, they basically didn't receive any damage, or let alone break, like this crate right here. I mean, you could break it with a crowbar, but like they didn't receive falling damage. But this one, it does. But eventually, like, what happened to this crate? I mean,
push the obstacle out of your way. You might try pulling it.
That's what I was trying.
To pull a box, move up to it and press your use key. While holding down the use key to keep it up on the box, move slowly backwards. The box
the physics engine is just making a mess already. And that's why the... exactly, that's why the reputation... What the hell happened? It's just taking damage from different walls and everything. Which version do you prefer? Source, Half-Life, or Original? Original is just much better. It's like, I don't know, Source with its physics engine is just like kind of breaking Half-Life 1. Even, well, especially with these boxes. I mean, this is the only like kind of physics puzzle you could imagine in Half-Life 1. Moving around boxes. Alright, let me see. If I pull this box, I can barely reach this box, right? Yeah, with a crouch jump. But if I pull this box over to this wall, clanging it a little bit, might break. Oh, Jesus, what the hell? Physics. This didn't happen in Half-Life 1. I mean, the thing is, it's trying to be like only moving, how would I say, only horizontally, like towards the floor. It doesn't have like any Z movement, meaning that it cannot roll over or stuff like that. So, it's with Source, this is a little bit buggy though. Gaben physics. Now, it actually uses Havoc physics, a modified version of the Havoc's physics engine. But if I, let's see, try to kill myself with this, can I actually? No, probably not. I also have a longer jump.
You can try breaking the objects in your path.
Yep.
Make sure you picked up the crowbar, then simply smash your way through the debris.
Here, the shaders already come into play, because the crowbar didn't actually have like any shiny thingies on it. Now it does. Same goes with your suit and everything, and that's why I think it just like made it a little bit... I mean, the surface, like the textures and everything, even the objects in the world didn't have shaders, but your weapons did, as well as some characters. I mean, models, even, well, Gina does not have, since this is probably a hologram. But still, it was, meh. Since the world didn't have shaders, why should you even, like, put the shaders on models?
Your suit flashlight for the next area.
The lighting, though, even with the flashlight, is very moody. I mean, it's Source, after all, but... The dynamic lighting created with the flashlight even does suit the game, I would say. Even with these textures.
Great. Remember your flashlight.
I'm working on becoming a developer.
Switch it off when you don't need it.
I mean, I've thought of it, but like I'm really not too that much fun of a real developer. But the thing is, it just comes to like that what end am I gonna develop? Am I actually gonna be like a programmer or a real like game designer as far as the IPs and everything go? But still, I have done many mods in many different games, maybe excluding Half-Life, but like in Doom, for example, I've like created my own deathmatch mod, even showcased that on stream. And I still am developing it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna release it, but it's still like a very good hobby.
Rather than waiting to run out of ammunition at a critical time. To fire your grenade launcher, use your alternate
For
fire
years.
button. Certain targets
Go for it,
will
man,
break
if you
only
actually
when
just
hit
have an
by
idea.
grenades.
Tell that to some other game designer at least.
4, 3,
They could pay you dearly.
1.
Yeah, so even these sounds, apart from the game sounds, I mean the weapon sounds, but the world sounds, even when the targets are moving, completely gotten from the source stock sounds. They were just basically updated sounds. I was waiting for that.
You have completed the Black Mesa target.
You completed the Black Mesa target range.
Your HEV suit monitors blood oxygen
Oh,
levels.
here.
Warning
Funny that the bubbles still were the same as in Half-Life 1, but the water shader entirely. It's just like in Half-Life 2. I mean, even the water reflections, if you have reflect all enabled, it does even like reflect the characters and everything. But like seeing this in Half-Life 1, pretty awesome, to say the least.
Come up and catch your breath. You will see the blood oxygen
Fighting course.
indicator on
It's difficult
your
to be a
suit's
good.
heads-up display, returning to its previous level.
I'll get back to you.
You are free to swim on to the end of the course.
All right, thank you. Difficult to be a good game designer, though. It's not just game designers. You just gotta have a grasp on a lot of topics. History, art, coded. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just might have the grasp on history. I mean, that's why I established the series in the first place. I was so keen on like learning the history of FPS in the first place because of Doom. I played Doom. Maybe just first. Yeah, it might have been my first FPS I played. But it wasn't like... Shut up! It wasn't like when it was released. It was like, naturally, I'm this goddamn young, so I wasn't even born when Doom was out. 7 years later, I was born. But yeah, the thing is... Like, I played Doom in 2012, I believe, yeah. 19 years after its release. And that was pretty much my first FPS I played, and I immediately got interested in like the history of it. After that, though, I found out about Half-Life, but I didn't even know like what was in between. I didn't even know that Quake was in between. It was even like secretly more influential. Damn it! Damage! Alright. Oh!
Proximity to radiation
even more influential than Doom. That's what also like got me even more enthusiastic about the whole series or franchise, the genre. Yeah, I did start with Doom. That's very fascinating. Also, Wolfenstein was well, not the next game I played, but what I was eagerly watching on YouTube. Even some of the maps the community made. All the cool kids start with Doom. Yeah, including the cool kid. I'm talking about the speedrunner. Speedrunner. Did you say I would really like a cold one right now?
Lead a security guard into the next room. He will let you back into the transit system. You must approach a guard and press your use key.
No shit. I was only curious if these...
You smell something burning?
They are talking. They are talking. They...
Right.
Sounds right. Yeah, they are talking. So in the original... Hazard course, they were not talking at all because they were just like basically in practice here. I mean, in a tutorial. So here they just act like I don't know, as the disaster has actually happened, or I don't know.
Sure, I'll follow you.
Come here.
Okay, I'll wait here.
Keep talking. Maybe they don't talk as often as they do in the original
thinking
release.
what I'm thinking?
No, sir.
What the hell? What was 4 out of 5? Me and all my friends playing Doom a lot. Yeah. What the hell? 4 out of 5. I mean 4 or 5. When you were 4 out of 5. Yeah. It's a way of saying it. But did I miss anything? No, I didn't actually yet. So yeah, let's lead this guy over here. And I believe the access denied. Yep, there is still the Easter egg here.
You think this is the right way out?
if the door is closed, I believe you can still like access it. I don't know. Can I access this door? Nope. Well, I should have just like not opened that yet.
Do you have any idea what to do next?
I can't figure it out.
They just keep on talking. What the hell? Well, Blaine. He said no, sir, I think. But yeah, are you thinking what I'm thinking? That was the perfect opportunity for a pink at the brain moment when they ruined it, yeah.
Do you know who ate all the donuts?
Who can say? He's not sadly just saying that stuff to him. I mean, maybe he is. It just, like, depends. Get out of my face. Should I shoot you? The thing is, I've got 9 SMG grenades, and if I do kill him here, even a turret will appear. Ah!
This analysis is going to run perfectly today, don't you think?
It's completely indestructible, too, so I just better run. Ah!
Press your use key to engage the train.
Full throttle! God damn, don't you go any faster? But yeah, even with, like, the source port, I mean, literally the source port, there are no vehicles in Half-Life, apart from the freaking trams. Okay. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to show, like, I'm not going to start a whole new game, since you can actually choose your episode here. And, this was also the case in Half-Life 2. If you actually completed the whole game, you could actually choose what episode you play, but, let's see, what should we do first? Let's do, Hostiles first. We got Hostiles. I want to see the intro scientists here.
Welcome to the HEV Mark IV.
Oh, look at those shaders on that shotgun. It's past 12.
Open the silo door! They're coming for us! It's our only way out! Oh my god, we're doomed!
This time he actually blew up. And those animations still got preserved, I mean, in the source version, but I want to do that again. I want to do that in a very fascinating version. Let's see. No, not a save game, but let's see. Damn it, new game. We've got Hostiles, and I want to... Oh, you... Oh, you cannot use the scientists. I thought you could. I guess they've actually fixed that. Well. Vehicles in Half-Life 1 are just other assets repurposed, what the hell, cleverly, yeah. Yeah, the NPCs are just like, using, what the hell, the tanks, for instance, but, like, that's about it. I mean, if the tanks are being used by the enemies, it's just like the tanks are moving a bit, they're moving in, and that's the only animation they're actually doing. Otherwise, they're just trying to shoot at you with a freaking tank. The invisible NPC that walks from under the map. Well, it could be. The card is his head, or above his head. Damn. Yeah, it just could be. Oh. I don't have my SMG since this is the first time we'll be getting that. Right here. Oh boy. Oh! Whee! Right underneath one. There we go. I believe the trip mines... I actually want to test them out. Let's see. Probably with this mine. Let's see. Or not actually with that, since... that isn't completely, Yeah. I was just, like, testing the range out. Maybe right here. Let's see. Yeah, the range is still probably the same as, like, previously in Half-Life 1. Yep, have to mention there are ragdoll physics indeed. And this version of the Source engine does include jibbing. Although not on the already dead ragdolls, as you cannot actually interact with them at all. But when you kill somebody with enough power, you actually can jib them all. For example, with that barrel right there. Sadly, I don't have the gravity gun with me, but the jibs do disappear after a long while, and this guy didn't even get jibbed himself. not actually a real ragdoll. I thought you got destroyed already. That one also got destroyed already. But the sound design, I would say it's even better. But I already love the, like, kind of, I would say, like, primitive sound design compared to Source. But yeah, I guess it's compared to Source, very primitive. And Half-Life 1, I love that. I would actually, like, rather have that instead of, like, the sound design, I guess. I did play Portal, and I will soon play that in my series as well. When I get around with the orange box. In fact, when Half-Life 2 Episode 1 will be first, afterwards, naturally, will be Half-Life 2 Episode 2, then, let's see, yeah, then maybe Portal, since Half-Life 2 Episode 2 was part of the orange box bundle, and I will just get around with that, and play Team Fortress 2 with the early release as well, 2007 release, I believe, as well as the new release. I have yet to configure, like, if there's a version of TF2. Well, it seems I have auto aim on. But yeah, if there's a version of TF2 that, like, is old enough, still has, like, some kind of a player base. Goddamn Source clicking sound every time. Early is a good politically correct, well, well, yeah, I guess early. Earlier version. Oddly enough, when I destroyed that,
Sure this is the right way?
you didn't get killed.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. What the hell, you're just standing still and say nothing. In fact, I believe you can actually enable the HD content if available with the home. Now let's see this. Oh yeah, I actually probably have to restart the whole game, but yeah, there we go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Have I been that much of a burden?
Yes, you have.
I certainly hope you know what you're doing. I'll wait.
I'll wait. Now, the thing is, the NPCs are just pretty much using the same, like, walking steps as in, or step sounds as in.
Those people in the Lambda lab can get this under control.
Yeah. As in Half-Life 1, but the thing is, the rest of the sounds made by you are just like already ported from Source. Did you just drop 2 skulls over from your body? What the hell?
Yeah,
Because I saw a 3rd skull dropped by that guy. Oh well. Friggin' trip mines. Now maybe that's enough of. We got hostiles, but let's see the, let's see. Blast pit. I want to see maybe the freaking scientist try to activate the freaking rocket engine and destroying the tentacle piece of shit. I don't know. The Zen monster. At least these models were like... Oh, Jesus. These models in Half-Life Source don't have, like, I believe... They had, like, some kind of a model interpolation before, but now they don't. So they... When they're hitting stuff... Maybe upon hits, it does. Yeah, as you can see from the crowbar, it doesn't, like, immediately hit it, but, like... There's a little bit, like... before it hits. Well, the crowbar in Half-Life 1 was just immediately like hitting when you just like actually hit something. Alright. Fire in the hole. And yes, you can die from that if you actually just like crowbar that enough. Thank you. Whee! At least here it's just like not a buggy lift at all. So if you're just jumping around, won't take any fall damage. Previously you did if you actually just were not careless enough. Careful enough, that is. Well. I don't like the train sound. It's HD now. Port it over from source. Oh shit. Oh shit. Damn it. I feel like I'm gonna die to radiation now. No, I'm not. Alright. Almost did. This is Half-Life Source for you. Damn hard. Harder than it ever feels like. Gotta play Quack. Half-Life. I will enjoy Half-Life, for sure. Oh, Jesus. 10 HP now. Brad, thanks for stopping by. Had a great time in Quake. Yes, yes, indeed. That is the black screen you get whilst... Oh, Jesus. Whilst falling a very, very good height in either Half-Life 1 or Half-Life 2. Oh, 3 HP. This is gonna be good. No! All you get is just... Jesus, look, you were over there. Well, let's not fool around and actually just air control ourselves. Not over there, Jesus. Good thing I didn't take any fall damage this time. Because those ladders also are a little bit buggy. They already were in Half-Life 2, but this time, like, we have free movement in Half-Life 1. If they already weren't, like, annoying enough in Half-Life... Vittu saatana. Half-Life 1, they are even more annoying here in the Source version. Okay, careful now. Those are quite fragile. There we go. 34 HP and 30 armor. Almost equal. Also, this bit was actually made like it felt like a an ocean of radiation bullshit. Yeah, this time it's an ocean, because previously it was just a surface of some radioactive material. You could actually just walk over it and you could see the bullet puffs and everything that were created right on it. But I want to see the creature first and foremost. And then I want to see the freaking scientist, as well as Barney, try to kill it. Whee! There we go. How do you like your ribs? I got no ammo! There we go. You there. Get blown up. Smithereens. Ooh, that was close. Almost ruined my day. But even with the Source engine, you can basically see the difficulty of Half-Life 1. And try comparing that to Half-Life 2. It's nowhere near that.
Fire the rocket engine.
Does he still say stop?
Destroy the damned thing before it grows any larger. Stop!
Yes, he does. Stop! At least he's not a lively character anymore, so yeah. Oh, Jesus! Yeah, they look kind of... Well, this is what they were in Half-Life 1, and that's it. That's all they offered for jibs in the Source engine, so, yeah, there you go. Keep it alive, what the hell. It's with 2 A's, not with 2 P's, you idiot. Oh well. Shadow, how many times do I have to tell you? I would actually have, that's the first time I'm actually telling you, but let's see.
I hope those containment parameters are still nominal.
Oh, look at that. He plays at the right time. It's exactly the right time. Compare that to Half-Life 1. The scientist actually falls over like a half a second later. And then the monster just like, what the hell? It looks like it's floating right thanks to the freaking monsters. I don't know what. What? You cannot even see the freaking... You cannot see the barnacle's tongues.
Be quiet. This thing hears us.
Oh, really now?
Hey! Hey, over here! Eat lead, you outer space octopus!
It's a feature. You should have died by then, for God's sake. What the hell? The thing is, the moment he slipped in here, he should have died by now. But what about me? No. How can you get it so wrong, Valve? Alright, what if I drop down? They move around a bit. No, they don't deal any damage to me whatsoever. They do react to the freaking sounds I'm making, but they never even kill me. Alright. I'm just gonna roam around here for me. Thank you very much. Not doing any damage at me. Yep, there we go. Completely, yeah, exactly, wet. They completely forgot to fix that. Well, that's all I wanted to see. Apart from one thing, maybe. Beat! Apart from one thing, maybe. Too difficult? Maybe not, but not that difficult, I guess. I mean, for the monster to actually not damage you whatsoever, not even make any collision to you, since it's the source engine. Oh, look at those ragdolls. Look at that. That's HD blood right there from source over. All over from source. I believe this is not the this is the turbine part, so I might have taken the wrong door. Let's actually load the separate save. I think it was this one. No, even previous one. Or was it this one? No, I can still go back. It's fine. So I was like wondering what the power place was like, where you actually restored all the power, and that scientists are like, excellent! Someone has restored all power. Okay, that killed me. It wasn't even the fall damage. Now actually the freaking monster killed me. Alright, so you cannot kill me in here. Can you? No, even when I'm standing right on the freaking sparks you're creating with that damn sharp beak of yours. But I get killed there. Okay. Lower for work as well as that freaking ladder right there. What? Might be that some of the enemies have a hitbox. Well, some of them, yes. Excluding this guy. Look at this guy. Is he killing me or not? Well, I'm nevertheless gonna crouch all the time, so... I don't get that. Why do only some of them have, like, hitboxes? Ah, this part. That wasn't even altered by the source physics, so sadly that was... not a thing in the physics engine at all. Damn it. Some doing programming right there. That's what I call programming. And I'm completely out of ammo. Yes, I am. Apart from grenades. Here! Oh, pathetic. There you go. How do you like your ribs? So here, with the power thingy, I want to do, like, see... I think this is the place, isn't it? God damn it. Nice. Much better. Now that I don't actually have any ammo. The fight monsters cometh. Like the frigging screaming monsters. Look at those tongues! Why are they so freaking short? I'm gonna die from this fall. No, I'm not.
Major detected. Automatic medical systems engaged. Morphine administered. Minor
there we go.
detected.
Detected. Blood loss detected. Minor lacerations detected. Everything detected. I thought the elevator... Wait a minute. Oh, the elevator's up there. Yeah, of course, yeah.
I hope no one expects me to start up the generator.
Smithers went down there and never came back.
Yeah. Found his hiding spot. Let's try that again. Oh, not from here. There we go. So I'm completely gonna ignore the freaking bull. You know what? I'm completely gonna ignore the freaking bull squid there. And I'm gonna go down without harming myself through barnacles. 92 HP. Why are those freaking barnacle tanks that short and like? Anyways, what the hell? I do get that when you start up a level in Half-Life 1, that is, in the Gold Source version, the original version, the barnacle tanks, they don't like immediately extend all the way down, and I guess that's the case for these guys, but they never extend down. That is. So, like in Half-Life 1 originally, they slowly lowered their tongues towards like almost at the very surface. But like here, they don't actually extend their tongues at all. God damn it! You're always gonna get through a barnacle. Yeah, I know. Ow! That's some damage. All right, let's try this. I want to see that guy. He's not gonna kill me.
This is my hiding spot, and I'm not moving until the situation is drastically improved. Now go away, and don't tell anyone I'm here.
Sure. I do love that every single time. I don't know if I actually loaded a game here. I mean, could be anywhere, but I should have saved there. Oh no, I saved here. It's fine. Every time, like those grenade bumps alone, the grenade does not actually have to even explode. Those grenade bombs alone were affected by the source engine, and god damn it, I just fell down. Better kill this bull squid here then. Oh, but never mind then. What did it save on that freaking zombie? Seek medical attention. You and your medical attention. Here we go. Let's try that again. Save here. Grenade.
This is my hiding spot.
Yeah.
And I'm not moving until the situation is drastically improved. Now
Damn it.
go away and don't tell anyone.
Just why? Why do I always find stuff like this?
This is my hiding spot, and I'm not moving until the situation is drastically. Stop!
Stop! At Egypt. I think I can barely like I don't know, send him flying through a grenade like this. I don't know if it's just far away enough.
The situation is drastically improved. Now go away and don't tell anyone.
Well, your hiding spot's being busted a little bit, man. Oh. Damn it. Want to get the perfect trajectory, but you cannot actually, like, toss the grenades, like, subtly. Dark! And I goddamn fell over myself. Okay, that's it. Let's see. There's another chapter. Power up. I wonder, I'm only gonna see what the Gargantua is like. I'm only gonna, like, check this. Why it doesn't jib your enemies? Nor does it jib you. Pretty much the same, I'd say. I mean, doesn't even have any, like, shaders, thanks to the source engine. The only thing that pretty much have shaders are the rest of the NPCs and your weapons. That's it. The Gargantua just not. Damn. Let's see. Forget about Freeman. We're cutting our losses and heading for the surface. I don't know. But yeah, let's see. Zen. Let's see how this actually goes with the power assist movement. Whee! Holy shit. It's pretty good, to say the least. Forget about Freeman. Ah! Freeman's butt cheeks. What did you do though over there? What the hell? Don't remember hand-eye spawning over there. I might be wrong. Central job. Ah! Didn't help. Well, that's a good save. Yeah, you know, that's a very good save. I didn't even save myself, did I? Let's load that again. No, not that one. This one. Yeah, the very spawn save we did. Arrgh. So the enemy is still with the freaking jibbing animation. I mean, there's pretty much no jibs animation, but upon the jib, they still play their diff sound. Yeah, just like that. The hell is this? I never remember how that being right behind this. Shit, I might die. Every single time. At least this spawn is much better. At least the low gravity is implemented well enough. As well as the movement with the power assist movement. Help. Power assist movement activated. I really hate this sometimes. If there's a second worst thing than just ice in video games, icy levels in video games, it's the low gravity and somewhat slippery after air control movement, I guess. I don't know. So that's what I usually do. Forgot about these freaking lightning thingies. Of course. I don't know why they even are here, but like every time you don't step, they just don't make any harm to you. Yes. Pew! Oh, right past me. Water fix is also, I mean physics, but the shaders were also implemented in the healing pools. But that's about it for Half-Life Source. All that really got increased in terms of graphics were the shaders upon your weapons and on some NPCs, as well as the water, I guess. That's about it. And I think that's a meh change. As well as, yeah, of course, sound design also got changed with the Source's updated sounds. But I really think this version is not bad, but certainly is not good either with the graphics. I would like really prefer like Half-Life as it was being built back in the day. Had been built, even with the same engine. So it was only a good thing that Valve didn't port over all the Gold Source games to Source, as they probably already saw like what a mess they already had created with Half-Life Source, especially even when the physics came to play. But there is one thing I do want to show to finish this stream off, at least. There's one video, in fact. Let's see. Display capture also has to be on. I'm going to put it on in a moment. This video only proves, like, I mean, let's see. I think it was called I Love Half-Life Source. Indeed it was. Yep. If you have already seen this, then I'm not wondering at all, since it had so many views, but like, god damn it. Gotta pull it off right to the beginning. There we go. Damn it. Display capture. There we go. So the thing is, like, this only proves that Valve made a good job not releasing the rest of the Gold Source games in the Source engine. This is called I Love Half-Life Source. Maybe made, like, almost 10 years ago. I don't know. I cannot remember. He shoots, everybody looks at him. And then they... Yeah, since the ragdoll physics were implemented, That's what you can do with this. I mean, naturally the rest of these were spawned by the player himself, but... Just why? What? He's also hitting the players up there, so they're constantly down. How about the audio? Oh, sorry about that. The copter doesn't even get destroyed. I wish I actually viewed that part there.
No more.
No more. Now let me implement. They have fixed that at least. Yeah, that's source for you.
This all looks nominal.
Why? Just this is what you can do with it. If you enable SVTs and everything, give it like Impulse 101, I guess. The only version of well, basically, yeah, only version of Half-Life and the Source engine that had jibbing.
Get with that thing.
Exactly. Classic part. Okay, I forgot about that. Laser's pretty effective against the Gargantua. Stop.
Are you serious?
Are you serious? Oh, this. Yeah, you can actually get a barrel stuck up there and then whee, fling it back. And now the barrel is, yeah, a little bit wonky. They were in the water already, so that's what happened to him. The Source broke so many stuff in the whole world of Half-Life alone. And what the hell is this? Oh, it was hitting the freaking forklift guy. The forklift, but yeah. Yeah.
No! Fascinating.
Fascinating. Yeah. If they're about to be crushed, they just like take a certain amount of damage before, like, I don't know, actually getting crushed. Oh, he's still alive. Yeah. No explosion sound too. Why? It's like also like super long, yeah, almost 8 minutes, but yeah. It's like the very art of Source right here. Yeah, I didn't even get jibbed. Ah! Why? Like, Half-Life Source was like maybe half of a mistake to make, especially like, well, I know those players like creating all these assets and everything, but like even this copter, which is in the scene, it's not even getting destroyed, but it's just like getting a lot of debris out of it. Some of these were fixed, but yeah. Some of them, maybe not. Especially the freaking grenade bounces. The grenade hadn't even exploded yet, and boop! That's it. That's all the freaking destruction you can do. You're like Chuck Norris with the grenades. You throw a grenade, kill 3 people with it, and then the grenade explodes.
You have no idea what...
You have no idea what...
The time is 8...
What? Why? Oh, the invisible pipe thingy there. Oh no! Yep, of course he got crushed. Fell over. Why? What?
Chaos theory. Surely someone will come and rescue us.
No.
Why are you asking me?
Why are you asking me? The other scientists are like, oh no, what is happening? What? Goodbye. I must go, my people need me. Go through walls. Just a marvel of design. Yeah, the Source engine sure was very influential. Very. Gargantua is almost getting crushed. Oh, this is an A-length. That's also a thing. You cannot have a limit to the satchels on the ground. So you can place any amount of them as you want. Oh no. Oh no. Gargantua.
I would really like a cold one right now.
What's that guy doing? Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that. You could at least. I don't know if you can still destroy it, but you could at least destroy this wall with anything, even the grenade bounce. Yes. So why? Why, Valve? Why? I mean, it was a good effort to port Half-Life over from Gold Source to Source, but why? Nope. And that's it. Apart from maybe one clip, I don't know. Oh. Jib. Another jib. Oh no, oh my god damn it, Jesus, I get it out of here. There we go. Just why? Why, Valve? Why? I simply ask you, why do you do this? Oh well, that's basically it for the episode, though, and the episode basically will go in a continue in a next part. I don't know if I will do it tomorrow, but I'll see about that. It will feature the mod of Source, and the thing is, I'm probably gonna start it with Gary's mod just to feature the physics capabilities a little bit, I guess. But other than that, I guess I will play Zombie Panic Sources. I haven't played that in a long while, apart from February 17th when I actually launched it by accident. But let's see. There's also Double Action Boogaloo, which is it's not an FPS, but yeah, I'm not sure. Action Source is probably the most recent FPS, as well as multiplayer Source mod and the whole Source engine. So I don't know if I will actually get through that. Fistful of Frags is also another one, and Fortress Forever is also another one. Insurgency, I don't have that installed. In fact, I actually haven't played Insurgency at all. No, I just own the game, but I actually haven't played it. Modular Combat, another very good one. And Neo Tokyo, also one of the earliest Source mods. But otherwise, that was also pretty much it of the whole Source engine's history and some of the IPs that were actually created for it. I mean, I already went through, let's see, a bunch. I watched the E3s of Half-Life 2, and then basically went to Half-Life 2 Lost Coast. Watched a couple videos before that even, and then Half-Life 2 Deathmatch and Half-Life Source. That was not too bad. But otherwise, let's see. I'm gonna maybe raid somebody right now and probably continue this. I hate making any promises, but either tomorrow or the day after. Let's see. Who's streaming? Ash is streaming Quake. I'll be damned. She's quickly getting a raid. Catch me up. I mean, there's the catch me later command actually. It's Barney just saying, "Hey, catch me later. Buy your beer."
Hey,
Catch me later. I'll buy you a beer.
Exactly. But yeah, let's see. Dead Ash. How many H's is it? Is it 3? 3 H's. Yeah. So otherwise, that will be it. It's either tomorrow or the day after that I will continue the special episode of. But after that, it will be time for Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and then Episode 2, and then maybe talking about the Orange Box a little bit, either after or before that. And then time for finally Portal, as well as Team Fortress 2, if I actually get my hands on that freaking original release with actual some like multiplayer content as well. But otherwise, that was pretty much it. So either tomorrow or the day after. Otherwise, it's bon voyage, give us all the love and everything. Best of luck to your future endeavors. Goodbye for now.